guys, how are you doing? I am a little late. I did have topics today. We are going to be talking about how to flirt as a woman and being approachable in dating. I'm just going to set up my, what is it? I forget what it's called. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to find where the chat is. Because I always had this issue where they do the, what is it called? Where they make it the top. I think I'm gonna have to wait till somebody actually. Oh, there it is. But yeah, I am just gonna do this. I'm also gonna be experimenting with something where I am going to basically, I'm going to see if when I change the, the title, that it'll come out looking okay, but I don't know. Not looking okay, but I'm gonna change the title to see if it actually gains more views, I guess. But yeah. Man, I'm like 10 minutes late. Ugh, I hope I'm not gonna be in here by myself. That's the thing about when you set an actual time to come in. You know, some people may be thinking you go come in at the exact time that you say, and then now it's like I should have pushed that time back to 8:40, you know? But anyways, so I do have, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics actually. And yeah, we are going to get started. I kind of wanted to wait till I had somebody in here, but it's given. Hello, Green Goblin. How are you doing? Hello, Johan Beek. How are you doing? Hopefully I pronounced that right. But today I'm going to be somewhat giving dating advice. My day's been going pretty good. How was yours? It's okay? Okay, cool. GG squeezed. Shout out to you. How are you doing? Even though your name says the Green Goblin. But how's everybody doing tonight? I am going to be talking about a couple of topics. I don't really know if it's mostly men in here or mostly women in here. Not gonna lie, I kind of prefer a female audience, to be honest. But that's just me. Feel free to like the live. Facts, good. That's good. But today I'm going to be talking about 4 different things. I have 5 topics, but they're all around one specific topic. If you guys are new here, occasionally I do dating drama advice videos where I talk about a story that I find on Reddit and I share my own personal opinion about it based off of my own experience as well as what I've seen from other people. But yeah. So today I am, let me make sure because I'm looking at my tablet real quick. We are going to be talking about flirting as a woman and being approachable in dating, specifically because I've had a couple of people reach out to me, as well as I've had different conversations with other creators where they were talking about the potential issues that they had with dating as a woman. And yeah, that is what we are going to be talking about today. And let me see. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Listen, I, I try not to really delete people or hide people, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I've been trying to be nice, but I don't like when, yeah. Hey girl, how you doing? I really don't like when people come into my live streams and all they ask is for shout outs over and over again, repetitively. But anyways, good, I got news for you. Ooh, what news you got, girl? Before I get into the topic, today I'm going to be talking about how to flirt as a woman, because I know we talked about that a couple nights ago, and being approachable in dating. Those are the topics. Oh my gosh, congrats. Okay, girl, what y'all doing? Or you don't know yet? I love to see it. Of course. I'm so hyped for you. You want to talk about it a little bit before we get started? He's planning it. He's going to come out here. Okay. Listen, I'm so happy for you. That's great. And we love a man that plans a date. Absolutely love to see it. Oh, is this the guy you were talking about in the Discord? I can't remember where you said you met him. Okay, cool. I love that for you. And I hope you have an amazing date and that turns into a second, third, and fourth and fifth date, okay? Facebook dating. Okay. See, hopefully everything goes well and you have a great time. I really hope you have a great time. But me too, cause I've never had a girl. I really hope that this turns into multiple dates and that you have a fun time. I pray that he is not a weirdo. I pray that he is a decent guy, is respectful. Y'all can communicate and have a fun time. I just hope you have a great time overall. Me too. I have a good feeling about him. He different dating outside of race. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Sometimes dating outside of the race is, it's something that you might actually like. Me too. I'm nervous. Listen, first dates are always kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time, though, I mean, I'm not gonna try to get your hopes up, but also, I am. Look, yeah, it is hot outside. I had to go and well, I'm in the basement right now because it's cooler down here. Look, the way I was about to ask you, like, are y'all gonna be out super like late or whatever? Are you gonna get on the live stream Sunday so we could be in your business or? Just till 5. Okay, so I mean, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, I'll be in that live stream, I'll be in all of them if I get the notification. But YouTube been doing a good job with notifying me of your live streams. I'll probably still come on live. Y'all know I gotta tell y'all rather it's there or Discord. Okay, bet. Cause I hope I hear some good news, girl. I'm loving the Discord thing people missing though. Yeah, I actually really like it too. Who is it? Was it Grimy and Kyoto that's not in there yet? But let's see. Okay. Yeah, and Blurred and Ariana too. Well, what we could do is like, I don't know if they're gonna show up in here, but If they do, I'll mention it and I'll post it on my wall. Or I don't know if it's like a specific link that's needed, I guess. Actually, never mind. I would say I posted on my wall. Maybe it'd probably be better to just send it directly to them because I wouldn't want people that's not normals in there. I don't know if I want the little one in there. I guess it depends on what we talk about. Because I don't know what the discussions will be, the normies. You know what I mean? The regular people that we see on the normal. Yeah, she be wrapped up. It's her birthday. Low key though, because she'll say it a good, 8 times? Like, girl, we all saw it. But, okay, so let me start off with the first. Yes, like, we get it. Listen, I don't know, I don't ever remember being that excited about my birthday when I was younger. Like, maybe when I was in elementary, middle school, maybe. But then when I got to high school, I stopped caring as much. But, all right. So, the first topic says, girls, do you prefer a direct or subtle approach? It says, I'm a male who is 26 years old and I haven't had much dating experience. I'm curious to know from a female perspective. Would you prefer if a guy you just met directly communicates his interest in you, IG, telling you that he finds you attractive and asking you out? Or would you prefer if he does it more subtly, like following each other on social media and slowly building a connection? Which one would you prefer, the direct or subtle approach? Because personally, I don't know, direct, yeah. I would probably like the direct approach as well, mainly because, like, if somebody directly tells you, okay, I'm interested in you, I like this, and that about you, I want to actually take you out on a date, it's not, you don't get anxious about it. Because I will say the times when I was dating people and I wasn't actually like talking to anybody seriously, it was always the issue for me of, is this person and me, like, are we on the same like mind length when it comes to dating, or is their mind elsewhere, or are they talking to somebody else? Do they even like me for real? It was just a whole bunch of questioning if things were serious or not, or if we were actually going to be dating for real or not. Like, I couldn't stand when people wouldn't directly tell me if they were interested, because it just led to too much confusion, too much of me feeling extremely anxious, and I wasn't exactly sure if it would go anywhere, pretty much. Okay, the next topic is, how can I improve my conversation skills and attract genuine connections when it comes to dating? They said, I consider myself an introvert and struggle with making conversations engaging. When I talk to someone, whether a stranger or someone I know, I usually stick to basic greetings and small talk. I don't know how to flirt, tease, or make conversations interesting. Personally, I don't really care for small talk because it does not really lead to anything. Yeah, the flirting, teasing, and conversations that would make stuff interesting, it just really depends on where you meet people, to be honest. But it says, I often wonder how to tell if someone is genuinely interested in me. Personally, I'd rate myself around a 5 in terms of looks. I have a basic sense of dressing. Since no man has ever approached me, I assume no one is interested in me. And that's the thing, right? So, even if you do not get approached, there can be people that would still potentially be interested in you. However, it really depends too on if you're like Mm, let's say if you're more, I guess, I don't know, what's it called? RBF, rest in bitch face. Hey T Berries, how are you? But I feel like in certain situations, I feel like a lot of people be giving themselves the short end of the stick. Like they don't really be thinking about things completely. Where it's like, okay, am I even around to even have people like me for real? Like, do I actually go anywhere to have somebody be able to potentially approach me? And maybe sometimes people think, oh, if I just leave the house a couple of times, I should be approached. Because I'm not going to lie, I used to think like that myself before I actually started pushing myself to go out more. But the older I got, the more I was like, okay, I kind of have to actually go out more to give myself more opportunities to potentially meet people as well as just have fun. But it says, I have this fantasy where a man approaches me, we fall in love, and we build a life together, supporting each other's goals and dreams. I want to know how to become someone who naturally attracts meaningful connections and makes conversations engaging. So, from my personal experience as an introvert, if you are someone who has trouble with making connections with other people, you do have to get yourself out of your comfort zone. You really do have to push yourself into being in more social situations. And I know a lot of us introverts, we don't really like changing our environment. Like, we would rather stay at home because, I mean, it's comfortable, it's safe. You don't have to deal with other people's crap. But at the same time, it's like, if you want to create meaningful connections, you can do it online. But at the same time, it's like you do have to push yourself to leave a house. You do have to push yourself to actually go out and spend time, even forcing yourself to talk to people, because I don't know what it is about us. Because I remember at one point in time, I used to have a thought process of, I'm gonna meet somebody, they just gonna show up at my door. I don't know, deliver a package or something. They just they are literally just gonna show up and we gonna fall madly in love. But it's like, that's not realistic. You kind of got to get out the house. You know what I'm saying? My tire pop, but it's okay. I'm alive. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry to hear that. Like, going through tire trouble is always trash, but I'm glad you're safe. And I agree, you have to put yourself out there. Yeah, you definitely do, because I think so. Let me know if y'all believe in soulmates. Let me know y'all thoughts about if y'all believe in soulmates, okay? Let me know in the comments. Hey Grace, how are you doing? Because I have thoughts. So let me know if you guys believe in soulmates or not. Because personally, when I was younger, I used to believe in soulmates. But then as life progressed and I saw different things happen with other people, I realized I do not believe in soulmates. I am good in watching a basketball game. Okay. Oh, thank you, Grace. I appreciate you, girl. This is just a little something I threw on, including the hair. But yeah, so personally, I don't believe in soulmates. I think that there are multiple people that you had the opportunity to meet. I believe because there are so many people on this planet, as time goes on, I feel like we have soulmates. I mean, I'll break down why I believe what I believe. So, there are a lot of people who die early. Let's just be honest. like I hate to say it like that, but there are a lot of people who tap out of life early, okay? And in my opinion, I feel like if soulmates are a thing, I would think that every single person has a soulmate. Now, some people will say that not everybody has one, but I'm like, Because a lot of people end up dating the wrong people too, and their life is miserable. Like, I've seen so many times where people will date somebody, get married because it feels safe, because it's convenient, or they'll date this person because it's what they're used to. And those people are nowhere near compatible. Nowhere near compatible. But they will be with these people to the end of time. They will be in these miserable marriages till the end of time. And then there's also the factor of when people like date, get widowed, and then remarry. My thought process always is, okay, you married someone at the prime age of 20, right? And let's say you get widowed by the age of 40. And then, your person's dead. I hate to say it like this, but then you end up meeting somebody else and then y'all get married. So how does that work? You know what I'm saying? Like, you had one soulmate previously, or was this your soulmate you should have been with the whole time? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't think it sounds plausible. It sounds feasible. I feel like there are so many. Yes, and a friend can be a soulmate too. So I can believe that there are friend soulmates, but I can't really believe in the fact that there are, like, everyone has one person. Mainly it's because so many people I know have passed away early, and I'm like, so was that somebody's person that just tapped out of life, or like, they don't get a soulmate. So I'm thinking not everybody has one, or just soulmates aren't really a thing. And then there's also the fact, again, like I said, people may end up with the wrong person. And I'm assuming if someone is your soulmate, that's who is you're gonna meet and be. Your souls are connected, so y'all gonna meet and be together. That normally does not happen with a lot of people. So, in my opinion, I feel like people have the opportunity to be with multiple people. It's just whether if y'all want to make it work or not, or is if y'all actually going to take the time to get to know each other and connect. Because I've seen people say somebody is their soulmate and they treat each other like trash. And don't get me wrong, that may not be their soulmate, but at the same time, I just feel like, from my perspective, based on so many things that I've seen dealing with relationships and stuff, I think the only way soulmates could be a real thing is if not everyone has one, which to me would be unfair. Like, I would feel so bad if I knew a variety of different people, and I've seen a variety of different people grow old and never had a soulmate before. Or say they wanted love so bad, but never got the chance to love anybody. So I don't know. That's just my personal take on it. And people always look at me sideways too, because they're like, well, you have a husband. And I'm like, I do. And he thinks similarly to me, because it's like, I think it would just be messed up for me to think like everybody has a romantic person they're supposed to be with. Oh, and I only feel that way because, again, there's so many people I've met that never had anybody. And I just think if someone's soul is connected, you would meet that person. You know what I mean? For romantic purposes, yes, but not everyone is lucky to find their soulmate. Like, I remember hearing stories about couples dying within a short period of time. For some reason, they sent that multiple times. Well, maybe not everybody gets a soulmate. Like, that's the only conclusion I could have. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of messed up if not everybody has a soulmate. You know what I mean? Or like, let's say something happens to your soulmate, they get with the wrong person, and now you're just SOL out of luck, and now you'll never have that love, or you'll never find that love. I don't know, it just sounds so messed up to me. I would think that soulmates will connect and y'all will be together. That's how I see that. That's how my definition of soulmates is. I would think that you would find each other and be together versus y'all potentially never meet or never take the time to meet, or one of you passes away, or it's just so many variables out there where I'm like, life be lifing, which is why I feel like it doesn't make sense to me if that was actually a thing. But what was I talking about? So, you're talking about the Notebook movie because that's not a good movie in my opinion. I'm sorry, this might be a very controversial opinion. That the Notebook is not. I've been in a situation like that where we were together and never met. Oh, you mean like online dating? Hey Mark, how are you? Okay, so I was gonna react to the Notebook at some point in time when I find a time. Here are my thoughts, okay? So in the Notebook, I absolutely loved this movie when I was younger, but after I got older and I rewatched it again, I was like, so I understand what you mean about you believing Allie and what was his name, Noah, were soulmates because they ended up connecting again. However, they were both cheaters. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was a money thing. What? I'm confused. Okay. So, on the Notebook, Allie, she rich. She a rich broad, you know what I'm saying? She living in the suburbs and stuff like that. And Noah, he's a working man. What's it? Lower working class, I think, at the time. And they end up meeting. First of all, he manipulated her into taking her on a date when he was hanging up on the freaking roller coaster. First of all, can't lie, the Notebook was all right. The Notebook is decent. However, they were horrible characters as far as like how they, I'll say horrible people as far as how they treated the people they was dating. So Noah basically was hanging up on the roller coaster and was like, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't date me, which is crazy. I'm sorry, off rip, I don't need to be talking to you because you acting like you gonna off yourself and you gonna blame me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but I've been in situations like that, so I'm like, no. Then they get together, right? And there's nothing wrong with their relationship while they together. Even though they be arguing and stuff, I get it. Passionate, whatever. Did not mind that, right? They break up, and it was the mama's fault. They should have been together, in my opinion. I do agree with that. They probably should have stayed together because it looked like they was really hooked on each other, right? However, so Noah is still stuck on her, builds her this house, which hella romantic. I'm not gonna hold you. Absolutely just pure bliss. You know what I'm saying? Build me a house, I'm yours. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm married, but you know what I mean? Like, well, my husband bought me a house. But anyways, listen. So, anyway, that's why I like to edit stuff out. Because when you go live, you can't... I mean, I can edit later. But anyways, so both of them were a trip. They really were. So the mom was trash. The mom was like, listen, you a suburban girl and you don't need to be with that poor man. He can go and work on the railroad. You need to be with a man that has a degree. You need to be with a man that has the money. The money. And snap, snap, shouts out to your husband. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was not. Big ups to God for blessing me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So she ends up going to college, and she ends up meeting. I can't remember his name, but I know he's Scott from X-Men. I cannot remember what her husband name is. But while this is going on, she doing her thing. They falling in love. They dating. Hey, Grimy, how you doing? So then, what ends up happening is Noah, he's still pining over his girl. He go to the war. He built her that house brick by brick. He laid the floor. He laid the pavement. He laid the carpet. Wait, did he have carpet? No, he didn't. But he built the house. He in the paper, right? Mind you, Allie getting married. She getting married. She married this man. She married Scott Cyclops from the X-Men, right? So after she married him, she in the tub. Wait, no. I'm skipping the part. After she marries the guy, she end up, I don't know if it's like her bridal shower or what, but they end up seeing the newspaper and find out that Noah built her the whole house. So Allie's sitting there like, this is the house I said I wanted from him. Let me go back to my ex and see what's going on, because I haven't heard from this man in years. Let me see what's going on. So she leaves her husband. She leaves and she tells her husband wherever she's going, because I'm sure she didn't tell him that she was going to see her ex. Now, men in the group chat, not the group chat, men in this live chat, would y'all be okay if y'all wife hightailed it out of town to go see their ex? Would you be okay with that? Women, would you be okay if a man that you were dating, a man that was your husband, hightailed it out of town to see their ex? Would you be okay with that? Let me know in the comments. Exactly. Heck no. Hell no. Exactly. But anyways, Allie fast whore ass. She goes, okay? She goes to see Noah. Now, mind you, Noah in the bed with some other chick that's in love with him. Absolutely in love with him. Noah ain't paying our chick no mind. He like, I'm using you for the box. He said that. He didn't say that, but we peeped it. We peep game as the audience as we watch it. Hell no, but to be honest, two can play at that game. And you married, Grimy. Can two play at that game? Like Vivica Fox. And you're married. No. Now, we clearly see that the girl, that was her fiance, not her husband. She's still a slut. She still was cheating, okay? She still was cheating. I thought they was married though, because she was in her wedding dress and then she went and left. Or was she showing her or was she doing her try on her wedding dress? Maybe. I don't know. Vivica eat groceries. We're not talking about that. That's beside the point. Anyways, always about butt. But anyways. So, Allie hightails it out of there. And she goes, okay, wedding prepping. All right. She goes and sees her ex. Okay? Goes to see the ex, right? She show up unannounced, mind you. Knock, knock, knock. Noah and the other chick, he's so happy. He looking at her like a golden retriever. Just, you know what I mean? And he looks at her. He like, my be back. They have dinner, which is absolutely freaking insane. Noah is like, why don't you? No. I think it was the girl that he was talking to was like, why don't you stay for dinner? First of all, you let somebody in my house. First of all, you don't even know her. But she says, why don't you stay for dinner? Noah and Allie, they reminiscing, cackling, cack. And then the other girl, she peeping game. She like, oh, this is the one you was in love with. Which, not too much. I would have been crying in tears. Like, I wouldn't even put myself in no situation like that. First of all, if I knew a man was not really vibing with me for real, I would not be there. I would not be, and he pity doing me. It's very clear he is not interested. He just interested in the box. But anyway, that's beside the point. He cackling with Allie, ignoring the other girl, I assume. And she ends up about to leave. She like, I could see this is the girl that you were in love with all this time. Why you couldn't give us a chance? Girl, stop being desperate. Pack your stuff up and hit the bricks. Just get out of there. Get out of there. So Allie and Noah, they talking, reminiscing. Real cute. But also, Allie, you got your mans. She was lame. I ain't even gonna hold you. She was lame. She truly was. Allie and them talking. They say, I can't remember what it was they said, but they end up doing it. Let's just say they end up doing it. We just gonna bypass everything. And she's like, oh, was that it? Girl, you drove miles to come and see me. And you talking about, was that it? Who's whipped? You know what I'm saying? Well, both of them were whipped. I mean, he built her a freaking house and hadn't spoke to her in years, thinking she would come back. I mean, she did. Crazy, but times is different. You can't get stuff like that in the nature of the social media dating apps. But anyways, so then Allie does him wake up in the morning. She paint a little something. He get her some breakfast, feed her. She paint a little art piece. And she like, all right, I'm about to go back home and marry my fiance. And Noah like, excuse me? What do you mean by that? What do you mean you just came to my crib to see this? You see this house I built you with the hopes you would see it. And then you do me. We did the do. I made you breakfast. I got that painting room in there for you. You painted in that painting room. And then you proceed to tell me you about to go back to your fiance? What do you want? Like, what are you doing? What do you want? She's like, I don't know. Of course you don't, because you're foolish. Foolish. Yes. Yes, they were intimate in the sack. In the sack. And the thing that gets, again, that junk was so wild to me, because I'm sitting there like, so she just cheated on her mans, huh? So anyway, she hop up in her car, and she like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she drives to her mama's house. Her mama is like, yes, this eggs. Her mama like, oh, yeah, here all them letters he sent you, girl. She slid across the table. She like, so you knew I cried about this boy. This was my man's. I cried about him for months. And you knew I loved him. And you proceeded to hide these letters that he was sending me. Mind you, stack on stack. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. We would have been scrapping like... I would have been so mad. That junk would have pissed me off so bad, bro. But her mom ends up telling her, I wanted you to have a better life. Get you. It's not your business. I get it. And she explains that she gets her in the car and she's like, come on, I want to take you somewhere. They drive to somewhere where Noah used to work, I believe. Hop in the car. Oh, we talking about the Notebook. And they hop in the car and she drives to the place, well, I don't know if it was the mines or like a factory, wherever Noah worked. And she's like, you see that man right there? that was basically my Noah. And you end up finding out that the mom ended up falling in love with somebody that was in a similar position in life to Noah, but she ended up marrying up, as in marrying somebody that was more financially together. And I'm like, so yo dumb self, you was too concerned about being a gold digger, and now you're in a loveless marriage. How did that work out for you? And even Allie expressed to her, she was like, you and dad don't play, you don't talk, you don't do anything. Rightly so. I'm not gonna lie. That is one thing I will say when it comes to dating. And some people may be serious, have more serious temperament or serious personality. But you should play with your person, and you should want to laugh and have a good time with your person. But fast forward, I guess they ended up together and then they die in the bed. But which that part always gets me. I'm not gonna lie. I cry every single time. It never fails because I'm just like, oh, they just dead. They died together, and it gets me every time. However, and you know what? You're right, T Berries. I guess they were soulmates. It was just certain things, certain variables in life did stop them from being together. But I still say Allie was trash. Absolutely trash. Allie was trash. I don't care what anybody says. Noah was trash for using that girl. The only thing I will say about him using her was the fact that she was aware she was being used, which, like Grimy said, lame. Get some backbone. Find you somebody else that you know they soul or they mind, they emotions not captivated. Girl, pick yourself up. Because that girl was pissing me off. And I hope Allie did. I hope she told her fiance, you know what? I did cheat on you. And I hope he threw her stuff on the street. I really did. I hope he threw her stuff in the street. Because, man. And I hope she did not wait until the day of the wedding. I think I did a video about that. Yes, confidence is key for sure. But what was it? Oh, I think I did a video before in the past about the 90s sitcoms and like the 90s dramas that would always set up this scene where they would have people like when they would get to the altar and somebody would wait until they got to the altar to be like, you know what, I don't want to marry you. What do you mean? We already paid for everything. We got the food at the reception place at the hall. We done did all of this stuff. And you waited till we got in front of this big crowd of people to tell me you don't want to marry me? Or for somebody else, an extra somebody to show up at the wedding? I hope she ain't do nothing like that, because stuff like that used to piss me off. Like, I did do a video about this. Like, what was it? Different World? Every single year almost, or like every other year on Twitter, people always bring up that one scene from A Different World. Mind you, I have never seen A Different World all the way through. I just recently started watching it, and I'm trying to get into watching it so I can finish it, because I've never finished the show. I think I've seen like a handful of episodes. But whenever people talk about, hey, yo, Blurmatic, whenever people, oh, how are you doing? Sorry. Whenever, I don't know what it is, but a lot of women will talk about how that scene was so romantic to them, how Dwayne basically ran up at Whitney's wedding and was like, what he say, but baby, I love you, or something like that. And the girls on Twitter will be like, oh my gosh, that's so romantic. That's so romantic. If a man did that to you, do you think that would be romantic? If the person you thought you was about to spend your life with, you already at the altar, you in your suit, you in your dress, Everything is together, and then somebody comes out, an ex shows up on your wedding day and tells you, well, tells your person or the person you thought was your person, I want to be with you. Call off this wedding. Someone getting their ass beat, or somebody getting sued for some money because I'm fine. I'm fine. But yeah, it's like it's stuff like that that I really don't like about. I don't even know how I got here, but it's stuff that I don't like when it comes to certain tropes. I need security to escort them out swiftly. And that's the thing. I was looking at the groom like, y'all mans, yo groomsmen not about to bang on him, because I would have been like, bop, bop, bop. Ain't no way. Disrespectful. So disrespectful. And everybody in Twitter land, they like, oh, that's so romantic, so romantic. And mind you, Whitley, she tells the groom, I'm sorry, and runs up and kisses Dwayne in the middle of their wedding. Them his people on the side. Slut. Whore. Like, don't piss me off. Like, whenever people talk about that scene, I just really be sitting there like, so that's romantic to you. You toxic, ain't you? You seem a little toxic. Because it couldn't be me. I was like, nothing about this seems romantic at all. But I will say, I would be mad all that damn money I paid Biatch. Listen, that's my thing, because he spent a lot of money. That was a really nice wedding. And, like, ignore the fact that he blew all that money. Ignore the fact that he invested all that time. And I don't even know too much about Dwayne and Whitley relationship, but I'm like, wasn't that man playing games? You know, like, why would you wait? And that's how you know some people be arrogant. Because why would you do something like that? Was it narcissist? Why would you do something like that? You waited till there was a big audience and you made the situation about you. You could have just hit me up on the phone. Or you could have showed up at my place 2 weeks before. It's just like, wait, Dwayne went to go get his lady back before it was too late. It would have been late. It would have been late if it was me. I would have been like, why are you here? Who told you where I was getting married? Escort this man out, because he playing in my face. He been playing in my face all these seasons. Get this slut out of here. I need one of the Men in Black things where people forget stuff. Low key, because that's embarrassing. Like, you the groom, you pay all this money. You thinking you about to marry this chick. And then everybody find out you left at the altar? Live? At least if it was done behind closed doors, you could have just, you know, like, you could have just text people or message people, yeah, the wedding off. I'm sorry. Now everybody's seen your business and it's all on the Facebook. Did you hear that he got left at the altar? Mind your business. I'm already going through all this. I'm already going through all this depression. And also, everybody looking at you because you know it's going to be taken. People going to be having their phones out and it's going to be posted all over the social media. Now you going viral on TikTok because you got left at the altar. Now you look stupid. And you also look stupid because you didn't bop, bop, bop that man. And you let him kiss your girl. Don't piss me off. No lie, I did come and swoop on my ex when I knew she was getting married 2 weeks before her wedding. You know what, Grammy? You a real piece of work, you know? I mean, she still married him. I'm not gonna lie, good for her. Because to me, that's so insane. Why did you wait so long? Why did you wait 2 weeks before? TV shows for you when it comes storylines or something else. They really are. When he kissed her, I was like, what do I taste like, buddy, in my head? I was about to say, bro, you out of pocket. Why would you do something like that? Speaking of TikTok, did you hear about the lady exposing her ex-boyfriend the day after his wedding? No, I haven't heard about that. What happened? Or do you know the name of the TikTok page? Cause I'm nosy. I want to look. Hello, Tazir Ledzo. How are you doing? But I couldn't imagine stuff like that is just differently different, you know? That's so differently different. Like it could not be me. That's all I'm saying. We would be banging in the chapel or wherever. Cause I have heard of people wanting to do stuff like that, like where if someone had an ex or whatever and they thought that they would always get back with their ex. I have heard of stuff where people wanted to, but then they didn't get the confidence up to go and do it. And you got to be pretty ballsy to do something like that, you know? That's good you're doing well. Because personally, I'm thinking there is no Hail Mary. They already committed or whatever. But whenever they talk about stuff like that happening in these TV shows, I am just so bamboozled. I could not imagine being in a situation like that from both sides. Like when I tell you, so when my husband and I got married, we had a private wedding at our house. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what. First of all, I don't know how an ex would have found me because they either blocked me or I blocked them, okay? So nobody would know anything. But I couldn't imagine having an ex come out of nowhere. Mind you, I don't talk to them. And being like, I still love you. What? Because now I know my husband's looking at me sideways like, where did this man come from? Who is this? You had to drop some information. Somebody knows somebody from somewhere, because how does he even know where this chapel is? What are we doing right now? While people be exposing left and right, be having receipts as well on social media. You know, I want to talk about that. I'm getting so off topic because it was specific conversations I wanted to have, and I guess depending how long I can be on here. I'm really sad for the wife though, because the ex-girlfriend showed her in her wedding dress while exposing her ex-boyfriend, and they recorded it. Stuff like that, people need to go to hell. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't like. Okay, so, and some of y'all might differ in opinion with what I'm about to say. Yes, like how you find me, because I am very much a private, mysterious person, contrary to what I post on the social medias, okay? People in real life, you know, it's so crazy. I get on here and I talk to y'all, but like people in real life, even my friends, they know I do like YouTube and stuff, but they don't really know I be active on here. That is sad. Oh, okay, back to what I was gonna say. So I really don't like when people expose people on social media. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, if a woman gets her feelings hurt, like let's say a man is cheating on her, right? She finds out. Or let's say something recently that I see a lot is like when women want to brag, or even it's mostly women, when they want to brag about somebody sliding in their DMs, they not interested, and they post it on social media. I really don't like stuff like that. Like, I don't like when people do stuff like that. I also don't like the concept of exposing all over social media. Like, it's one thing if, and even with telling significant others their partner is cheating on them, I'm like, you're not really doing this for her benefit. You're doing this because you're trying to get back at this guy. And stuff like that kind of rubs me the wrong way, specifically because I'll give y'all a specific example. So there are a couple of stories that come out every time, like on social media, whether it's TikTok, Twitter, whatever. But there are always situations that come out where a girl is talking to somebody, right? They're dating. She gets really emotionally invested. And what ends up happening is after she gets emotionally invested, after a couple of months, the guy's talking to her, like he really into her, stuff like that. She comes to find out that he's married, right? Now, every year, I always see a story about how a girl ends up in one of these situations, and in some of these situations, the wife is pregnant, okay? And in my opinion, I feel like if you are the other woman and you know that the wife is pregnant, don't say anything. Like, keep your mouth shut, because you could potentially be putting this baby's health at risk as well as the wife's health at risk, okay? But a lot of women are so keen on the idea of getting back at these men, which I'm a big believer in karma. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big believer in what you put out into the world, you will eventually get back, you know? So, in a lot of these stories, some of these women do not have tact and will contact these men, the wives that are pregnant, and they will reach out to them and they will tell them, I'm the other woman, and I just thought you should know, I'm a girl's girl. I hate that junk so much. That is something I really don't like, when some people, like, not everybody who says it, but there are a lot of women who will say they're girls, and it's like, girl, you just wanted to get back at this man and you wanted to find a way to hurt him. But in some of these situations, like what T. Berry said, yeah, some of them did end up being stressed out and being in unhealthy mindsets where their stress was impacted. And this is the thing too, when you are sharing this information with somebody, you're really worried about making yourself feel good, because there have also been certain situations where women will share that they were the other woman, and what would end up happening is they would get on social media telling their story, like, I was dating this guy, we were really into each other, and then I found out he was cheating on his wife, so I told her, and do y'all know she's still with him? Like, how dumb is she? And it's like, you were mad because she did not leave him. That's the issue. Like, you up here complaining on social media, but it's like you're mad because she did not leave him. Like, you don't know the circumstance of their relationship. You don't know if she got money to leave. It's just a lot of layers where it's like, you're thinking singularly, but this man is still married. It was wrong that he cheated, and it was wrong that he led you on, but it's like, you're not really thinking about it from the wife's perspective, or, that person's perspective, because you don't know what their situation is. You don't know if she could take her kids and dip out. You don't know what type of job she work, if she can sustain. You don't know if this man crazy. Like, you also don't know what this man has shared with her too. It's like, it's so many levels where I just be looking at some of these women where they try to paint themselves as good people, and it's like, I think the problem is you wanted this man to leave his wife, and then you wanted him to come to you. Because a lot of women are like that, where they'll share this story like they're so upset, but it's like, no, you're low-key kind of mad that he didn't choose you over his wife. That's the problem. But I digress. True love of social media is sometimes not worth exposing, to be honest. Sometimes it eventually comes out. This is true. But I don't know, social media has definitely become a place of just openly oversharing, and sometimes it can be helpful. Oh, but sometimes it is not. So, for example, there's this one story going around, right? Where there's this woman on TikTok, and she was sharing how she fell in love with her psychiatrist, okay? And I kind of do and don't like the repost thing on Instagram. I haven't actually seen it. I'm gonna have to hop on there after this live. Great take on this, Jazz Real Talk. Thank you. Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, so this woman goes on, I don't know how many videos because I didn't look, but she goes on a long video series, I guess, where she's sharing how she fell in love with her psychiatrist. She's seeing him all the time, and she's making it seem like her psychiatrist knew he was in love with her, almost like he was taking advantage of her. And based off of what I'm hearing, I'm like, girl, you a little delusional. And maybe you should have kept this in the diary, in the drafts, if you will. Because sometimes, and I say it all the time, people don't be having shame. They be really wanting to connect with people or feel, what was it? So there's this YouTuber I watch named Steph Co, and she's the reason I even found out about it, because she made a video about it. And like she said in her video, she was like, people do need validation. And I'm like, yeah, because there's no way I would have shared that on social media. I would have never came on social media like, I'm in love with my psychiatrist. And it's the fact that she was trying to paint him as the villain. It's like, girl, that's why you was going to the therapist. You a little off. And it's okay that you need help. Everybody needs help. But it's like, you think your psychiatrist knew? I mean, unless you said that information. But even if he knew, he would have to get rid of her, because that would be unprofessional. I don't know, bro. Then she started talking. Yeah, she made herself a victim, in my opinion. But then it's like people talking about using AI for therapy. And I was just sitting there like, whenever I see people on TikTok using ChatGPT for therapy, like in-depth therapy, I really be sitting there in confusion, because a lot of people don't be telling the whole story. You know what I mean? That is one thing about people, because, okay, a little bit about me. Originally, I went to college to become a therapist, right? But in my senior year, I realized people don't listen and people be lying to my face. So I'm not going to do that, because don't piss me off. And I know people will piss me off. Plus, it was the fact that I realized I didn't have control over the clientele that came in. Anybody could have been coming in there to see me, and I feel like I did not have the capacity to help people with their issues after like navigating personal relationships. And when I tell you, people will lie all the time and not tell whole truths about certain situations. Hi, Robert, how are you? Okay, Toronto, whoop whoop. But yeah, people will definitely not be honest, not be completely transparent. about a situation. I can't tell you how many times I have had friends in the past tell me a story, and they would tell me their side or their perspective. I would listen. But after a period of time of hearing your friends tell you stories or tell you certain issues they're going through, and specifically if you end up knowing the people that they're dating, you will come to find that sometimes they do not tell the whole truth, or they will leave details out about things that they did wrong. And to me, it's like, well, why even talk to me? Why even ask me for advice if you're not going to tell the whole story? You know, it's I can't really help you if you're not telling me that you also did something wrong. Because even sometimes I'll be looking at, well, past friends, I would be looking at them like, so this happened. Okay, well, what happened to cause this, to make them react this way? Silence. You telling me they just started acting weird and different for no reason? Like, again, it's just really interesting realizing that people definitely do not tell the whole truth. I do appreciate the friends that I have now because majority of them are very honest. Like, they'll be like, yeah, this is where I messed up. I know I shouldn't have did that, but I'm still mad that they did this. And I'm like, okay, I can understand that you definitely shouldn't have did that. But it's like, you know, it's people just see things from their perspective, and sometimes they don't realize where they messed up. And I hate to keep saying the narcissist word because some people just are narcissists. Like, they don't see stuff from the perspective of, well, how did you contribute to this issue, you know? They'll just see it from, well, this is where I was wrong. This is where somebody messed up and treated me horribly. And it's like, well, so you telling me you didn't do anything? No. You didn't cuss that person out for no reason or go off on them because you was trying to control them? No. And I think the even wilder thing is when I see stuff happen in real time and my friends forget, well, past friends would forget that I was even there, and I'm like, so you gonna lie to me like I wasn't there? Then they change the subject. Unserious. Right, fake victim, so it's true. Yeah, like, so many people definitely play the victim, and that's how people don't grow. And that's why a lot of people that end up in situations, they end up becoming people who always want to blame everybody else, always unhappy. And they'll be like, everybody else is a problem. And it's like, have you ever thought that I have somebody in mind I'm thinking about? Yes, that's scandalous. It is. Yes, self-centered or numb to reality of situation. Yep, that is definitely what it is. For sure. I can't stand people like that always thinking about themselves. Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. I've had friendships like that where sometimes, like, when the friendship would end, I would have to explain to them, like, I might have been your friend, but you were not mine. I feel like they took it way more personal because I'm like, you don't ask about me. Or you be lying about stuff, or you be playing the victim or being passive aggressive. And it's like, I've always been a direct, well, yeah, I've always been a direct person where I'm like, if someone has a problem, it's just easier to talk to me. You know what I mean? It's just easier to tell me what the issue is. But if you're being passive aggressive, or if you're not telling me, like, I remember one time I had this one friend, and she had a lot of issues, but I remember she would like subtweet or sub post. Y'all know what that is, right? Like when you, why do my lip, anyways, where it's like you'll be talking about somebody, but you won't directly say their name. And I remember she would do that. Like, we could literally be in a group chat and we'll be talking about something, and then she would feel some type of way about, I don't know what the issue was, but she would take something personally where she would be comparing herself to whatever I was talking about when I wasn't even talking about her, directing at her. Because again, I'm a very direct person. So she would get on Facebook and would make a post about something that I said. And I'm like, I know you're talking about me. And I would message her and I'm like, yeah, like, is there an issue? Like, I saw your post, you good? And then she would be like, you must have a guilty conscience. That's why you thought it was about you. And it was just like, no, I'm trying to be your friend. And I'm trying to see if you good. Because if you have an issue, we should talk about it. So I know, you know, what not to do, or if I rubbed you the wrong way, or you know, if you taking something personally, and I definitely wasn't trying to talk about you or your situation. Because, I mean, to be honest, if I don't like something, I'm going to tell you. Or if I got a problem, I'm going to tell you, because I learned not to really hold my thoughts in as I've gotten older, mainly because stress kills, you know? Or I just remove myself. It's just easier to talk about things directly than to harbor on things and have like built up frustrations and emotions. It just seems like a waste of time and energy to me. So I'm like, if I got an issue, I could just talk directly to you. But I really didn't like that she was like, if what did she say? You must feel guilty. I'm like, girl, if I'm your friend, I'm gonna check on you to make sure you good. That way it's not no confusion. And then she, I don't know, you know, I was just looking like, and then, you know, some of our other friends would peep certain stuff too, and it was just like, I never cared for passive aggressive people. I really do not. I'm like, so you would rather make a post or a status or find a meme you went out of your way to find and post it. And I know it's about me because we literally just, it hasn't even been seconds, minutes. And then you're acting like it's not. And then bring it up later. It's like, girl, what's the problem? Let's talk about it. Everyone play the victim sometimes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I probably have played victim before, but it was definitely situations where I was like, you probably shouldn't even be talking with this person, whether friend or somebody I was dating. Oh, I see what she did if the shoe fit. Exactly, but a lot of people are not emotionally intelligent. Yeah, I think it's also just a combination of, sometimes when you grow up in an environment where you think like where the whole world kind of revolves around you in a way, it's very hard for you to navigate personal relationships with people, because you'll be thinking stuff is about you, and it's like, some people are direct like me. Some people are very transparent. Also, my thing too was also like, I normally keep to myself, so I don't really normally have room to, I guess, get aggravated with people. Like, I rarely get irritated with people. And if I do get irritated with you, it's a problem because more than likely multiple other people have an issue with you, which is normally accurate. Like, if I ever have a problem with someone, it's literally other people that have issues with you too because I'm like, I'm not even around enough or present enough. Oh, T Berries, I don't drive yet. And y'all don't judge me for driving, okay? It's something I need to work on. Some a future goal, if you will. Wow, I love female nature. I don't know what that means. It's true. Some people lack communication or understanding. Most definitely. But, you know, I ended up falling out with that friend for other things. I don't think I will ever like make a video about that. Yeah, that confused me too. Because I've unfortunately met men that are similar. So I'm like, that's not just a female thing. That's a lot of people thing. But I I don't know, like I tell bits and pieces of certain falling out with people, but I would probably never ever go into detail cuz I don't really like that where people overshare too much about specific friendships. Cause I still care about her, just away from me. Like and plus it would only be my perspective and my side of the story. It wouldn't be her side, and I'm sure uh her side would be different. For sure. Based off of the way I've seen her move with handling other people's relation like her relationship with other friends, I'm like, you don't tell the whole story. And I would never want to tell the whole story about that situation because it definitely makes her look bad. It kind of does make me look bad as well if you go off of the part where we first stopped having a friendship. But yeah, I was definitely wrong with that one. However, I just don't like the idea of oversharing on friendships because I don't know. For me in the past, friendship breakups definitely were way worse than like boyfriend breakups for me. Oh, okay, I was gonna say that's the only time when my emotions overrun me. When you driving, be mad. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've seen a few people when they were mad and they were driving, and I'm like, babe, I'm gonna need you to pull over. I'm gonna definitely need you to pull over. Thank you, Ilplematic. I appreciate you. Okay, so I asked this question in the beginning, but do you prefer a direct or subtle approach when it comes to dating, right? So, would you prefer if someone you just met directly communicates their interest in you? Or would you rather it be subtle, where it's like following each other on social media and building a connection slowly? Oh, I understand what you mean. Yes, I curse people out all the time, especially when people do dumb things on the road. That makes sense. Some people should not have a license, in my opinion. Like, they really did well to get that license, and then after they got it, they just don't know what they're doing. Yeah, both the Rose Rundown and I said direct, because it's just easier to navigate. Friendship breakups hit different, egregious. Yeah. I hope I don't have any more friendship breakups, but the ones that I have had definitely. I agree too that some people don't need their license. They really don't. Some do not know what they're doing. Okay, so the next topic was how do shy women show interest or attraction? So, a lot of people have seen me as a shy gal my entire life, right? And I'm gonna read off what somebody else said, but in my opinion, whenever I handle things differently from the average shy girl, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely handle things much differently. For example, when I was in grade school, what did I do? Write a little note. And I really hate that I used to do that junk. That junk is so embarrassing looking back. Because I would definitely be like, there's something about you. Cue Moesha diary music. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I would literally be writing a note like, hey, let me think of a name. Bob. Okay. Here I am writing a little love note in grade school. Hey Bob, I think you are so fine. I love that you sit next to me in class. Everything about you is pure bliss. I don't know if you like me or not, but I like you. I was serious, actually. I can't even say I was unserious, but shamed. No shame. I don't know why I was like that either, because it's like, you're a shy girl, and you're up here writing boys notes. For what? You're not even supposed to date till you're 18. That was the story, but I definitely did. But it was really, yeah, when it came to me being shy, I've mentioned this before, but my want to have a man outweighed that, okay? I was like, I want to get me mine. But I messed up. Because in my opinion, which I don't care what anybody says, I definitely think men should be the pursuer. Because I feel like relationships work better from my perspective, what I've seen happen with other people, as well as my own personal experiences. I feel like it's better if the man pursues the woman, because the times that I've seen and the times that I've been in which seeing women pursue men, or if I pursued someone I was interested in, they did not like me as much. And they did not like these women as much. Why does my wig look like that? I really just, whatever. Anyways, I just think that men should be the pursuers, because it would probably be much better for it to work out. But as far as like shy girls and showing interest and attraction, somebody was saying that the signs a woman is attracted to you or might be checking you out are fairly straightforward if they're a comfortable, socially capable person. Same thing for guys. And this is where the little flirtation comes in a little bit, right? So they said eye contact, smiling, making small talk, shooting a compliment, or mimicking body language. Now, I don't know nothing about no body language, but the eye contact thing, I feel like that goes a long way. I remember it was this one video going around on TikTok a few years ago where this guy was saying how he went to this bar and this woman was literally like just staring at him, but it looked like she was like glaring at him. And she ended up coming up to him later on that night, like, you didn't see that I was staring at you? I thought you were going to come say hi. And he like, girl, you was looking real mad. But I know, so for example, I told my husband that I was going to get on here and share with y'all my flirting tips, right? He laughed at me. And I was quite insulted because I'm like, well, to be fair, I'm going to be honest. Whenever I dated and guys actually liked me, it was because I made them laugh, but it was not intentional. I've noticed that people be laughing at me, but I'm normally very dead ass. I'm not joking at all when I be saying stuff. But I think it's the way that I say it that people find stuff funny. But then when I say actual jokes, I am no longer funny. And I don't like that for me. But regardless, my husband does not think I can flirt, but I think I can. And I will tell you what I have done in the past. So, welcome to Jasmine's flirting tips. Now, for me, one of the things that I used to do was, and my friends always laugh when I talk about this, but okay, I would go to festivals sometimes, and festivals were a great way to meet people, right? Specifically, if you go before the Pew Pew and the Ragamuffin crew comes out, where they gonna be doing too much in the street, okay? You always go and leave before 2 p.m., all right? Especially now that we are older. You don't want to be dealing with the rough, rowdy crowd, okay? And I used to go to the festival first thing in the morning, like between 10:15ish. I would show up and, I would be looking at the art, do a little window shopping, potentially actual shopping, look at the food, buy some food, nibble on some food, you know what I mean? But I would start conversations with people and I would get out of my comfort zone and force myself to talk to people because it was always harder for me to interact with people, especially if it was an audience. Like, if it was too many people around, I still to this day feel social anxiety and I get really anxious. And I had that little just one bead of sweat just coming down my arm. Oh my gosh, I hate it. But whenever I would go to these festivals, I would talk to some of the people who are running these booths, force myself to like ask them certain questions, and stuff like that. And every now and again, I want to say every single festival, I always ran into maybe 3 or 4 different guys. Now, I don't know about your location, depending on where you guys are at. I am in the Midwest, but for me, there were always some guys out. Always. Sometimes they would be alone, sometimes they would be with one other person, but there were always some guys, whether they were running the booths themselves. I will say I feel like it was easier if they ran the booth themselves, like a setup where they were selling something, or if sometimes it was a pedestrian that was like me, just visiting, looking around. And I will say, if somebody had a booth, it was so much easier for me to be like, how are you doing? Chat with them a bit. I think there was only one time where someone gave me their business card and they said if I wanted to talk to them, I could. That was probably the only time that ever happened. And then the other times, one of the things that I would do, and y'all probably gonna laugh, but I used to accidentally bump into people. So, like, what I would do is I would be walking down the street in this festival, and sometimes I would see somebody, and I would think, oh, they're an attractive young lad. Let me accidentally bump into them. They look like they're around my age. So I would basically, usually I would have to be holding something, and normally I carried a tote bag. So I would like subtly like, oh, I'm so sorry, excuse me. I feel like this works better if it's more crowded though. Just a little bit more crowded, because it's like, if you're the only people walking, why are you walking that close? But anyways, I was subtly bump into someone and make eye contact like, I'm so sorry. And I'll never forget this one time I was walking, and this is how I picked this flirting technique up, because some guy did it to me. And I'm just like, I'm gonna have to use that. I was walking through the festival, minding my business, looking around, and this guy bumped into me, grabbed my hand, right? It was like he was like, how do I recreate this? He bumped into me and we're brushing past each other, like shoulders brushing past each other, and he grabbed my hand and was like, excuse me, and we made eye contact, and he held my hand for a second and let it go, and I'm like, K-drama, okay, this is giving K-drama energy, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to use this. And I feel like that is definitely something that someone can do. Now, personally, I don't like touching people. However, from what I've looked and based on my research, a lot of people say that women touching them is a sign of flirtation, which is very much true. Whenever I've seen women touching somebody, I'm like, oh, they must like them. It really depends on it. Is it like, it's like, why are you going out of your way to touch somebody you don't know? You know what I mean? It's because they're interested. But you got to be careful. I would say don't do that. Don't do that if you're trying to not tear the house down. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put yourself out there if you're not trying to put yourself out there in that way. Personally, I don't like touching people. I never did like touching people unless I actually planned on like dating them. Cause I'm like, you just never know the way people perceive stuff when it comes to physical contact. You got to be very careful on that. But I will say the eye contact though, like if you go to a restaurant and then you see somebody that looks attractive and it's like meet my gaze. That's what was it, Peter, that was saying off of Family Guy, where you meet someone gaze for a second and then you do a little smile and then you take it right back. You know what I'm saying? Because then that person sees like, oh, there is an eye connect. We seen each other. We saw each other. I wonder if she wants me to come over there. And if you even wanted to, you could glance again. And if y'all make eye contact again, smile again. Not weird, though. Just smile again. And then that person will come up, depending if they're single. Because that was always a good one that I've done before in the past, where I would do that, make the eye contact, and then somebody would approach me that way. But again, it just really depended if they were single or not, or if they were attracted to me or not. Because I'm not going to say that every single guy that I've did that eye thing with approached me. It's just, it's subtle, and you don't have to do too much. You don't have to go out of your range of doing anything, The other thing I would say is, so for me, depending on the type of person you want to talk to, or for example, well, in the past, I've gotten a mixture of different people approach me, and what I mean by that is they would be older, sometimes even a little bit younger, or they would be my age. I rarely got anybody that was out of my race that approached me. And if they did, they were younger, or like one of my siblings' friends, which was weird. But yeah, I've never really had anybody outside of my race approach me. Well, maybe some Chaldeans, but I do think that sometimes you do have to dress a certain way to attract certain types of people. I couldn't even tell you how to dress. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I will say like sometimes you do have to dress a certain type of way to attract certain types of people, or and I don't mean by like wear something revealing or anything like that. It's just I'll give y'all a perfect example. So there was this girl that I knew that wore graphic tees all the time. And I wear graphic tees all the time, right? However, she would also wear these Loungefly backpacks. And I don't know if y'all know what Loungefly backpacks are, but they are like these Disney anime themed backpacks, right? And then she would have like character keychains on that backpack. And a lot of times she would brag about how people thought she was so young. And I would explain to her, it's not that you look young, it's that you're dressed young and you're wearing this character backpack. So people think you are younger than you are because you not only have the graphic tee, but you're wearing this backpack, you have these keychains. It's giving youth. It's giving youth. And then you wonder why nobody your own age is not approaching you. It's like they can't tell how old you are. Let's say they did find you attractive, they cannot tell how old you are. Like, I don't think a lot of women understand that a purse can tell a lot. I don't know if guys actually actively look at purses, but if I was a dude and I saw a girl wearing a graphic tee with a Loungefly backpack and then she has a whole bunch of keychains on, I'ma probably think she young. That's just me. But, you know, sometimes if you dress a certain aesthetic, some people may not approach you. Or if you dress like a teenager, people are going to think you're younger than what you are, so they're not going to approach you because they don't want to catch a case. But it is something to think about, because I will say this is probably the most I've worn graphic tees in my lifetime. But before when I was like casually dating and I wasn't dating anybody for real, I didn't really wear graphic tees as much. I would just wear like cute t-shirts with nothing on it, or blouses or something like that. And I will say I got way more play versus when I did wear graphic tees for me. I don't know if that actually does anything. I'm not gonna hold you. Sometimes I got play wearing dresses, but normally I would only wear dresses if I had a man to protect me. Or if I was going somewhere in a group. I don't know, like I never liked wearing dresses going somewhere by myself. I always wanted to wear dresses if I was with somebody else. But that's just a me thing. Then I normally got more people being interested when I wore jeans though. If I just had jeans and like a nice t-shirt on. But and also your hair can impact the type of people who approach you as well. So I think it's nothing wrong with the bun. I think it's nothing wrong with a ponytail. But I will say, wigs are very popular nowadays, right? But sometimes the wrong wig will send the wrong people. For example, I remember when I was like 21, I had this one very short wig. And when I tell you, I had to stop wearing that wig because I noticed that whenever, not every single time, but a lot of times when I wore wigs similar to that, I feel like the wig was giving me auntie or mother. And when I would wear the wig, I'm thinking I look real cute. But it was attracting older men. Or when I would wear certain curly wigs, because there were other curly wigs that I would wear out the house, and curlier wigs gave more variety of types of men that would approach me. Like, specifically, if it had like other colors, I don't know what it is, but a lot of men like the curlier hair. I will say, I think it was because it was different at the time. Nowadays, I think, I do think people flock more to the straighter or the wavier hair versus the curly, so it definitely stands out more. But it also depends if it looks more on the natural side too. But yeah, I will say I think the go-to that got me the most play that I remember is just having my hair up in a bun. Like, that always was just simple enough, and it resulted in somewhat decent results. I'm not gonna say I got hit on all the time because that was not true. It's just, if you go out and you socialize, which is another thing. One thing I will say that a variety of guys did mention to me over the years when I was single was they would tell me that I always looked like I was having a good time, which made me more approachable. Which leads me to the next topic. So someone said, I've noticed that men approach me more when I Okay, this kind of off topic. Okay. So I've noticed that men approach me more when I look a mess, but when I'm dressed up and looking the most presentable is when I get approached the least. Most of the time, not at all, but I always get stared at. From my perspective, whenever I got dressed up, I feel like men saw me as, you're going somewhere, you're probably already spoken for, or they saw it as, you're high maintenance. And how do I say this? There's nothing wrong with being high maintenance, but you should be with somebody that's going to be on the same level to maintain you. That's why sometimes when I hear about girls getting mad that they were talking to somebody and that person was like, yeah, I don't think we would be a good fit because you're kind of high maintenance. It's not necessarily always an insult. It could just be they know you're going to require a lot of things. So it's like, why would you force somebody to be talking to you if you know you're probably going to be unhappy with them if you were to talk to them, specifically if they know they either don't have the money to maintain your upkeep, whether it's like your nails or whatever. I don't know. But I think that when you dress normally, men are more likely to approach you because it's like you're casual. You don't look like you have to put in a whole bunch of effort. You don't have to do too much. And sometimes that comes off as, oh, you must be really chill. It'd probably be fun to just hang out with you. You aren't as dressed up. I know you probably, could dress up, but I know when I was dressed up, wasn't nobody checking for me that I can think of. I don't think I ever had anybody approach me and like this person said, they got stares. It's like, yeah, you'll get stared at, but usually jeans and a plain shirt with nothing on it definitely did the job. From my personal perspective, if I could really like tally all the times that somebody approached me, literally a plain top and some jeans. But it says, but when I look a mess, it seems like men just fall in my lap without even trying. I've also noticed in social spaces that men will always approach average-looking women more. The women who I personally think are drop dead gorgeous and usually the girl everyone's looking at never gets approached. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear that people who have pretty privilege, um, I hear that they have a tough time dating. It was somebody on TikTok that made like a scale. Ooh. Anyways, it was somebody on TikTok that made like a scale of how people should date. And even though it was kind of messed up, the scale made sense. And I'm not gonna lie, I've planned on coming out with, I think, 2 or 3 videos about pretty privilege because I won't say I have pretty privilege necessarily, but I have had experienced moments where I have put in more effort into the way that I look, which garnered me pretty privilege. And I do feel like, low key, sometimes if you just put a little bit of effort into the way that you look, low key, if you just have your hair done and maybe just put on a little concealer to brighten your face, you will be good to go. And some chapstick or something, because it really doesn't require too much, but I don't know. I would not want to have pretty privilege for real, where I'm like a 10, because the experiences that pretty people go through, like people that don't have to do too much, they could just roll out of bed looking gorgeous. I feel like those people go through stuff that I would never want to deal with. Would never want to deal with. And I know a lot of people will look like, oh, having pretty privilege is a good thing. And I'm like, I have seen so many pretty people have horrible experiences in life in general, as well as with dating. Horrible experiences. So, I don't know, like, I don't know. But they said, I'm not shallow by any means. I don't believe looks should be the sole reason why you invest into a person. However, this is something I can't ignore. It really piques my interest and makes me want to know why this is. Besides the fact that men can be intimidated by beauty, yes. But it still feels like something deeper than I'm seeing. What do you guys think? I think that dressing casually will get you way more pics. Like, if you actually want to date as a woman, I feel like dressing casually would probably be a better way to go, versus getting dressed up. Obviously, dress how you want to dress, dress for you. You don't have to dress for the man gaze. I know people talk about that all the time. But I will say, from my personal experience, whenever I just dress comfortably, in the past, when I was trying to date, it was just easier to get, I guess, attention, or like people interested. And again, let's say 1 out of 10 times of me going out, potentially somebody would approach me. However, I don't mean going out like going to the store grocery shopping. I mean like I was going to an event. Because I will say, a lot of people, for example, a lot of people who are introverts, because I'm an introvert, they will think, oh, I just have to leave the house. No, it would probably be better if you go to events. It would probably be better if you go to something you can participate in, whether it's you being social, you watching something like a concert or something. When you go out and do things that involve social interaction, the chances of you meeting somebody goes up. Now, I'm not talking about running no errands, because some people will think, oh, I just went to Walmart today. I went to the cafe today. I took myself out to eat. Sure, but you're not in a space where you would naturally just be talking to somebody. Unless they work there, you know what I mean? And again, it's better if you can potentially find some events within your area to go to, versus not going out. Because I know I had to teach myself, like, if I really wanted to find somebody to date, I'm going to have to leave my house. And no, it's not just, oh, I'm going grocery shopping, leaving my house, or, oh, I'm just doing window shopping, leaving my house. However, actually, I'm not going to lie, window shopping at the mall, potentially you could meet somebody at the mall, but I'm not going to lie. Some people go to the mall just to lurk, to see if there's anybody available. And I have to remember, that was when I was a kid too. But when you go in more socials, places, it's way more easier to find people. For example, even though my husband and I were already, I think we were fiancé at the time, for my birthday, we went to this pool bar, right? And my sister and I had been to this pool bar before. It was during the pandemic, but it wasn't really too many people in there, and I really liked the vibe, so I was like, okay, I want to go back. So we ended up going there, and I told some of my friends, hey, come out to celebrate, and they did. So we went there, and I remember one thing about me is I always peep the environment. I always make sure I can see in my peripherals everything around me. Like if somebody watching me, I'm very much high on alert, because I do not want to get snatched up off the street. I don't know, but it's like a fear of mine to just get thrown in the back of like one of them I am so like unserious, but I seen too much Dateline, too many missing people. I do not want to get snatched up, but I'm always aware if somebody is watching me. Always. It's like I just have a spidey sense that somebody is looking at me. And occasionally I can like slightly glance in my peripheral without actually looking at somebody to know somebody's looking at me, right? So I remember we were there. Horrible service. I don't know what happened. But it was a good time. I had fun with family, friends, or whatever. And my husband and his friends, they were playing in the pool side, because it was like two different pool sides. He went to play on the opposite side because that's where the table was available that they gave him. I was sitting at the table with my sister and my lady friends, and I think one of my other friends, and we were just talking, and the bill had came, so I had got up and brought it to my husband or whatever. And I was watching, it was like it was a few different men that were watching me. Mind you, this was a older establishment. So this was like for people that were, I feel like they were 40 plus years old in my opinion. But some of them could have been around my age, but they all looked aged, okay? But I got up, went to my husband, and there were three specific men from like different sides that I could tell were watching me. And my husband peeped it too. My husband peeped it too, because he told me about it when we got back in the car. But, you know, he gave me his credit card and was like, yeah, here you go. And after he did that, they still kind of watched me, but not as much, because they knew, like, okay, this guy must be with her because he gave her his freaking card. You know what I mean? And, you know, you do have to be mindful of, like, where you are, how you moving as a woman. And maybe I'll talk about that in a video in the future. But, like, you really do have to be careful of your surroundings, because, and that's something, my mind just be going. But I really don't like when men just stare. You know what I mean? I get that people do stare, and it's probably better, not better, but people will stare just because, you know, they don't know what to say, or they're trying to figure out if you're talking to somebody else, and I get that, but I really don't like when people be staring me down because it make me feel like I'm prey and you're a predator. It's just like one of the reasons why I used to hate the club scene was how I'm a person that naturally likes dancing. So if we go somewhere where there's music, I'm going to be in my own little world dancing. And depending, my husband will either dance with me or he'll watch me dance. And I'll just be vibing out, right? Now, unfortunately, there are men that will just be like literally just looking at women like that. And that junk makes me so uncomfortable. That junk used to make me so like on edge to the point where like I'm dancing, and if I can tell somebody looking at me, I'm slowly just moving out of your sight. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I'm slowly moving out the way because I'm like, don't be creepy, don't be weird. If you gonna talk, then talk, but don't just be leering, staring, because that junk is weird and it makes women feel well, it made me feel uncomfortable. I never forget. I feel like I told y'all this story, but I remember one time before my husband and I started dating, and we were just hanging out. We went to, there was this restaurant we used to frequent, and they would have kind of like club nights on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It was like a hangout spot where they would move the tables off of the main floor and they would turn it into a dance floor, and they would have a DJ and everything. And I used to love going there because normally the music was good, depending on the DJ. Sometimes it was trash, but for the most part, it was a good experience, and I always had fun. But I was always the main person on the floor. They knew me. They didn't know me by name, but they knew who I was because I was always on the floor. Even if nobody else was dancing, I'm out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking head in. You know what I'm saying? I'm vibing by myself. Sometimes my husband and his friends, they would vibe out with me so that I wouldn't feel alone. But for the most part, I don't need nobody holding my hand. I can get down on my own. Well, again, before my husband and I started dating, the floor was crowded. Everybody's vibing. I'm dancing. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the zone. Drake's on, even though I don't like Drake as a person, like the man's music, but I'm dancing to Drake One Dance. I need a one dance, got a Hennessy in my hand, one more time for I go. Anyways, I'm jamming. In the middle of my favorite damn part, some man is breathing on me. Just breathing. And I cannot stand that junk, bro. Like, I could not stand. Because I'm short as it is. I'm 5'3", mind you. Some man is just, hey, how you doing? Because he is taller than me. And I'm just like, bro, I'm vibing. You see me. You see me. And he proceeds to press me. And when I say press me, I mean, he's like, I see you out here. You having a great time. You looking good. Would it be okay if I get your number? Listen, buddy. Let me finish my freaking dance because I requested this song. That was the thing that pissed me off because I requested this song, and they specifically told me, I was like, hey, do you take requests? And they were like, no, we normally don't. But the guy was like, what song you want to hear? And I told him, and I was so pissed. I was so mad. But anyways, this dude, he's like, oh, you know, I know you saying like you want to give me your number, because I was like, I don't give my number out, which was true. I almost never gave my number out. I was like, if anybody wants to talk to me, I always get my social media out, because, and specific social media, because it felt safer for me. So I would be like, yeah, if you want my social media, that's about as far as it's gonna go. But I just kept saying over and over, I'm like, I don't get my number out. I don't really want to date anybody right now. And he would not leave me alone. And I cannot stand, if you tell somebody no, leave them alone. Like, I really do not understand the concept of, I tell you no and you press me. I tell you no again and you press me even more. I tell you no for the third time and you double down on what you just said. It's like, bro, clearly you on file directions, so I know this relationship would be a failure. Like, why am I constantly having to repeat myself on something very simple? And one thing I've learned that I would start doing is I would tell men, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I don't feel safe right now. And for some reason, when I would say that, they would back off a little bit. Or some of them would back off completely when I would say, I don't feel uncomfortable, I don't feel safe. Because they realize, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. But this guy didn't take a hint. So I was like, fine. Give me your freaking phone. And I basically followed. I typed in my name on my Facebook on his, and I pressed the friend request button. And I told him I didn't have my phone, which was a lie. I did have my phone, but it was so dark in there, I had on a fanny pack. And he didn't know I was wearing a fanny pack. So he thought I didn't have my phone. Now, while this is happening, my husband at the time was watching everything unfold, because he was making sure I was good, but we weren't dating at the time. And the guy ended up walking away, right? So I'm trying to continue dancing, but mind you, the guy got the friend request, did the friend request thing, and he walked over there, and he's just staring at me the whole time, leaning against the wall. And I'm just like, yeah, no. I just end up two-stepping on up to the other side of the room, and he's still locked on me. And I just told my husband and his friends, I was like, yeah, I want to go. They was like, you want to get some food? I was like, yeah, let's go get something to eat. Because I was like, this man making me feel hella uncomfortable. Like, I really did not like stuff like that. It just, focus on something else, bro. Because you leering at me like I'm a damn piece of meat did not help. It does not make me feel like I want to talk to you. And you know what is the kicker about this whole situation? I get home. After getting food, I get home. And I get on my Facebook. Why does this man have a profile picture of him and a pew pew in it? Be so for real. Instantly blocked. Instantly blocked. Like, that was one thing I never understand about some of the guys in the Michigan, not all of them, but there were some men that would just be having pictures of them holding a pew pew, and I'm like, you're incriminating yourself. Are you even allowed to have that? Do you even have the license to have that? You don't? Why are you taking pictures with it, you dummy? I swear, it's just ignorant. Completely ignorant. But I don't even know how I really got on this topic, y'all. Are y'all here? Cause like I see the number, but I'm like, am I talking to myself? Cause I will get to rambling. But yeah, I don't know. It's just mm. Oh, that's where I was on. I was saying I was approachable and I got approached more when I was having a good time. That's normally what happened. If somebody noticed that I was laughing or joking or enjoying myself, that's normally when I got approached. As well as just going to events, getting approached was so much easier when I would be out and about having a good time, Because, yeah, if I'm just walking somewhere, I'm running my errands, naturally getting approached is not something a lot of guys would do. I've realized, like, I remember I was talking in the past, like way, way in the past with some of my other male friends, and they were explaining how they don't really like approaching women when they can clearly see that they are focused on a task, like they're focused on doing something, whether it's shopping or you could tell they're looking for something. Some of them are like, you know what, I don't want to disturb her day, I don't want to rub her the wrong way, I'm not going to approach. However, they also explained, if they look at somebody and they're like, oh, they are really, really attractive, I'm going to approach them. Because I know one of the things that I didn't like, which I think I got approached in the grocery store like twice. And I think I almost got stolen once. That sounds so crazy, but I'll never forget. I went to this one Kroger, and that was the last time I went there. But I went to this one Kroger, and there was this man literally following me aisle to aisle. And at first, normally if somebody going aisle to aisle, I'm thinking, naturally, because when I go grocery shopping, I go aisle to aisle, add some stuff to my car. I normally have a list. I'm looking for specific things, stuff like that. But no, this man basket was empty. Then his basket was gone. So I'm looking like, and I can clearly see he's looking at me. No. So then I ended up, luckily I wasn't in there by myself. He thought I was by myself. And when he saw somebody else show up next to me, he left me alone after following me for 5 hours. But it's stuff like that where it's like, you do gotta be aware of your environment. But in the event of like people approaching me at the grocery store, I've been approached, I think 2 or 3 times. And I don't know, like only one time they asked me for my number, and then the other times it was almost like they were trying to gauge me from my responses. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know there was flirtation. And normally I'm not really good about receiving flirtation from people I am meeting ground zero. Like, I was never really good about stuff like that because I'm like, how do I... You may be attractive, but that's all you got with me. Like, I don't have anything else to go off of. Or sometimes the people weren't attractive to me. And I will say, I've always been one of those people where you may not be attracted to me when I first meet you, but then after I continue speaking with you, you can become attractive. As far as like personality, like if somebody was really funny, or Actually, no. Funny, the humor was always what got me, personally. But now I'm glad my husband not ugly. Oh my gosh. I tell him all the time, I'm like, I am so thankful you not ugly because I don't know how we would make the distance. No offense to anybody who's ugly, but that sounds so bad. But, it's just I have my base level standards, okay? Because I'm not going to say I'm the best looking woman on the block, but I wouldn't want to roll over and look at Jay-Z. You know what I mean? And that's exactly why Beyonce is with him. That's exactly why she found her person, because that's her type. Mm-hmm. Yes. But yeah, I'm debating how long I'm about to stay on here because I thought my thing was frozen, but I'm like, dang, y'all not saying nothing. I just been rambling for this whole time. I really just be talking. But I mean, thank y'all for being here with me. I appreciate you. But yeah, I think that was it that I have for the dating topics. If you guys don't know, I did make a where to meet men in your 20s, 30s, 40s. I made that video and it should be linked in the description box of this live. I don't know if the description box actually comes up in the live, but I did link it. So if you guys want to watch it, you can. But yeah, I do have a lot of stories I could tell y'all about my dating career or like my experience with dating. Although it may be kind of, I won't say it's out of date, but the last time I was single was the beginning of 2000, the middle of 2016. That is a very long time. But I will say being single was hard for me. I've told y'all that before. Um and I will just say overall, do not date when you're lonely and do not date when you're bored. And you can be lonely obviously, but please do not date when you feel extreme loneliness because you will end up in some horrible situations. I know in my case, when I dated when I was lonely, it was not ideal. Was not ideal. Ended up in situations that I should not have been in. Ended up getting my feelings hurt multiple times or investing energy and time and effort into people that really didn't deserve it or didn't want the same things that I wanted. Um I the climate of dating is so different now, especially with how easily accessible it is to just use dating apps now. Cause don't get me wrong, I met people, but one thing I think I did mention this before. I used to meet people through like mutual friends online. That was something that I did where it's um like on Facebook, if there were people that I know on Facebook and somebody commented on a picture or something and I could tell just from their avatar they looked attractive, sometimes I would send that friend request. Sometimes I did. And I know I had men do that to me, and that would be a way that I would end up dating people or um and building rapport with them. And then also at one point in time, not me, but I know people used to find people to date on Twitter or Threads, especially if they lived in certain areas. And again, a lot of times They would be friends and mutuals and stuff like that. I don't know if people still do that, but I've heard that that's a great way for people to meet people as well. But yeah. Mm. But I did make a video about where to meet men if you are single, but it does require you to go out. Not gonna lie to you. A lot of times, going out and having a good time and enjoying life would be best versus staying at home and using dating apps. Don't get me wrong, sometimes people can find love on dating apps. I'm not gonna knock them completely. However, there is a lot you have to shift through when it comes to using dating apps, you know? And there's only so much you can get from somebody from a photo. But I mean, you can obviously try it. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys prefer meeting people in person versus dating apps? Or have you only met people off of dating apps or only met people in person? Let me know. Because I've done both, but um, mm, I don't know. Well, actually, I've never met anybody off of a dating app, but I did meet people off of social media. I did end up having that happen with me. But yeah, I'm gonna probably stay on here for 14 more minutes and then I'll get off. I don't know if you guys have any topics or comments or anything you want to say because I literally feel like I was yapping for like an hour, 45 minutes straight without anybody saying anything. But I try to get on here twice a month. A part of me almost wanted to do this once every other week. Well, not every other week, once every week, but I don't know. You know what I mean? It's uh I would have to find topics because I don't really just want to come on here and not have nothing to talk about. I want to actually have topics to discuss with you guys and stuff to actually talk about because otherwise it'll just be me looking at myself. And yeah, or I would have to be doing something else. And I can't really think of anything that I could do where it's like I can devote my attention to talking and then also doing something else. I'm not really good with the multitask thing, especially if I'm trying to talk to y'all, mainly because I feel like I need to have some sort of filter. You know what I mean? Like when you go live, you do need to have some sort of filter for sure because you can't just be saying anything and everything. Because sometimes people can misinterpret stuff, or sometimes people can take stuff out of context or they may not understand. Or if I'm not paying attention to what I'm saying, I could say something and completely forget that I said it. So, but yeah. But, oh, so I did start my new job. I didn't really talk to y'all about this. I'm probably going to put it in one of my vlogs. Um, Oh, that's so crazy. Why can I not see any of your messages? What is going on? I literally can't see anything. If you guys have been talking to me this whole time, I cannot see anything. Let me see. Oh my gosh, y'all have been talking to me this whole time. For some reason, it was not updating me at all. I literally thought I was talking to myself the whole time. That sucks so bad. Now I gotta go through them. Let's see. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, I did not get any of the messages from you guys at all. Now I gotta go through every single one of them. And I've been talking for almost an hour. Okay. Jasmine was 21 at the time, so that sounds about right. I don't even know what you said before that. Oh, thank you, Monique, about my hairstyle. I also think attractive women might make men very nervous too. That's true. They definitely can make women nervous. Don't downplay yourself. You're pretty. Oh, thank you, T Berries. It's 10:59 p.m. where I am. I don't like this, Jasmine. Uh, being in shape goes a long way. I mean, well, sure, but there are a lot of men that like, you know, thicker girls or, with a little. Actually, I don't know. I feel like men will like you regardless. Social clubs based on hobbies, right? Yes, gotta mingle with people, real talk. I cannot believe like they was not updating me. I really thought I was talking to myself the whole time. The creepy thing is the 40 plus men looking at the young women and their families. Yes, exactly. Young people are not dancing anymore. They just sit and stare on their phone. This is true. Like, I think I told y'all about the time when um I went dancing with my siblings and me and my younger sister were dancing and somebody started recording us, and I instantly got uncomfortable. I did not want to keep dancing because I'm like, they probably gonna post this somewhere and I don't like this. Because that junk definitely made me uncomfortable. I can't stop looking at you if you're dancing well. Okay, so I'm not the best dancer. Some people just be creepy though when they be looking at women dancing. At least he tried, right? To be pushing it. Some people hate word no to use hearing yes all the time. Yeah, some people are used to hearing yes all the time. Some men never had a girlfriend, they're learning in old age. That's true too, but they need some tact. I once gave someone the phone number to Domino's. That's hilarious. What if they called on the spot and they was like, pick up a delivery? He tried it. Bruh, baby, because I'm a thug. Stop. That's funny. We are talking to you, but you have been talking to yourself. Yeah. Yeah. I need to figure it out because I think my video ended up disconnecting and then it reconnected, but for some reason I was not getting any of the messages. I think many women would appreciate being approached by someone they are attracted to. The problem is that doesn't happen often. This is true. Bro, whole walking red flag, empty basket with nothing is weird. Accurate. That's such a scary experience. It really was. At this point, there are so many older men, 55 plus, wanting me, even my friends' dads. See, that's weird. That's really weird. When all that reminds me of is, did y'all ever watch Friends? Because that reminds me of Richard and Monica when Monica was catering an event for one of her dad's friends, and it was Richard who was her dad's friend, and he like 30, 40 plus years older than her. Monica knew who he was, But mind you, Monica lost a whole bunch of weight, so he didn't recognize her, and he ended up liking her. But that junk is still weird because it's like Monica even referenced the fact that he saw her. Like, she was like, I'm dating a man that basically pool I peed in, which is crazy. But, and she was dating a man whose daughter is in the same grade as her. You know what I mean? Stuff like that is so weird to me. Being in a social setting where you see the same people regularly is helpful. That too, if you frequent, like, for example, if you frequent a place like, if, oh, okay, so I don't know if y'all into board games, but sometimes comic book stores will host board game nights or specific card game nights. And sometimes you can meet people there, or sometimes certain cafes have like live performances, whether it's poetry or local artists, like local singers and stuff like that. So if you frequent there, potentially you might meet somebody there as well. Yeah, see, it's always the old man. The last one tried to holler at me. 45, no. Come on, can you still please me in bed after you? You know, they probably be using Viagra. Let me stop. That's what I'm wondering. It's probably getting lit. Please. I don't want to be. Now, Lakeisha. That's crazy. Oh, I see it in the description. I need to watch that one. You're funny, Lakeisha, but I get where you're coming from. Being single is my default setting. Bruh. That's a blessing. Dating is for the birds, for real. I've done that in the past. Now it's because I'm ready. Yeah, sometimes it could take you a minute to, like, really, well, I don't want to say that. I'll just say, like, sometimes it's just better to be single. And then I will say, though, how do I say this without sounding mean? So I will say that one thing I've noticed is that sometimes when people are single for too long, they will think singularly a bit too much when they actually start dating. That's probably one of the only cons I will see when it comes to people that have been single for a really long time. It can be very difficult for them to adjust to being with someone because they're so used to just only thinking about themselves. Do not date if you are insecure with how you look and where you are in life. Get yourself together. I actually do agree with this. I feel like you would have to do some internal work if you are insecure about the way that you look, for sure. As far as being insecure with life, though, I feel like a lot of people are insecure with life in general just because of the way the economy is. So, I don't know, it just really depends. This whole new thing wanting to. What? Oh, if somebody wanted to touch my toes, they could get gone, because ain't no way. The way you would get kicked in the face. I like in person better. In person better. I'm tired of dating someone just through the phone or out of state. Yeah, I could never do long distance. Ever. I don't know if your name is pronounced Tavia or Tavia. Beautiful name, by the way. But the gnawing, and I know I'm saying it wrong, but gnawing on my feet is crazy. That's crazy. I can see our responses now. I'm trying to go through them. I am so sorry. I didn't have the top messages on. I put it on all messages. It's just for some reason they were not showing anything. Talk about the lady on social media that said fat people don't deserve relationships. That's insane. I feel like I saw something about that. And, you know, I feel like she a low-key hater. And probably somebody that was a bit bigger than her took her man. I truly think that's what happened. And that's why she probably feels the way that she feels. Because that's a crazy statement to make. That fat people don't deserve relationships. Like, why are you even worried about them? If you, it's these two girls that I watch. I think their names are, I know their individual names. What is the name of their channel? Their name is called Delexis Eats, right? And they do mukbangs. And one of the girls said in one of her videos, she said, stay in your weight class. And I love that. She said, don't worry about what plus size people doing. And I agree. Like, you should not. Why are you worried about what somebody else has got going on? If you can't get a man, that's your problem. That is your problem. That has nothing to do with them. I did that on Wednesday in my life, like it wasn't showing nothing in the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna try to remember that for later. Log in from your laptop or another phone. Oh, they were bringing up stuff that I guess guys did that was weird. Okay, I'm caught up. I am so sorry, y'all, because I really, I did not see any of those messages before. Like, for some reason, it was not showing me anything. I was just looking at the screen. Like, I guess like, I'm going to just talk to myself. I clearly saw it was people in here, but I was just like, it's weird that none of y'all are saying anything. But thank you for sending me the message in the Discord. Both of y'all, I think, because yeah, I could not see anything. And I'm so glad that I had the notifications turned on, because I literally just would have been continuing talking to myself. It's crazy how I really was rambling for almost an hour by myself. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, y'all. Like, the thing about the woman talking about fat people don't need to be in relationships was weird to me. I don't understand people who think like that. It don't make sense to me. It don't add up. Don't. And it also makes me wonder, like, would you feel that way if you became plus sized as well? Like, would you feel that way and be like, oh, I've gained some weight. Now I don't deserve love. That is a crazy thought process to have. I couldn't imagine thinking that way. Like, that does not make sense. But yeah, y'all laughing, but man, I was really in here looking like a fool. Like a fool. Like, I really did not know what was going on. Okay, because if she ever became plus size, she would lose her mind. Listen, I don't know, man. People like that are concerning. I mean, they could stay the hell away from me, but very concerning. Like, why is that your thought process? Why are you even speaking on other people? Worry about your own problems because clearly you the one with the problems. If you worried about the fact that they get men and you can't, you must be lonely. And that's why you mad. What is it? What is it like Orange Man be saying? They're stealing your jobs. Girl, you wouldn't even have no men. You have no men. You think they would choose you as an option? You're alone for a reason. No such thing as perfect live stream, as I always say. Clearly, man, because that about grinded my ass. You know, I'm glad I continued talking and I actually like clicked the little chat thing to redo some stuff because I would not have known. You know we'll be in here to support you, and that includes chat with you. I appreciate y'all because, man, I'm not gonna lie, I was really sitting here like I'm just really talking to 6 or 7 people in this here chat. And they just watching me, and Can fatty date another fatty? I mean, you could date whoever you want, whoever you attracted to. Right, always will support. You're really genuine. I appreciate you, girl, and I'm always show up in your live streams as long as I get the notifications. And I am glad they have been notifying me because sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Oh, by the way, are you going live tomorrow? Because I'm going to be in there. Oh my gosh, you are gorgeous. What's your hair care routine? Thank you. This a wig. This is a wig. I think it was $14. And I'm going to be honest with you, I would never wear this wig out in person because the tracks can show in the back. I'm not going to show you. But I would never wear this wig out in person. This is literally my throw on and go when I don't feel like doing my hair for the YouTube. This girl in this hammock on Big Brother. I wanted a hammock so bad, but I've been in one before and I flipped out, and I'm not about to play myself again. Especially since I've gained some weight, it's gonna hurt me. I don't have time for it. I really don't. But imagine dating a bigger guy, 300 or 400 pounds. Are you going to allow him on top? Do you want me to be honest with you? Because I'm not going to lie, that was a very interesting question to ask me of all people. I'm going to be real with you. What is the reason for why they are 300 or 400 pounds? Because me personally, I've dated bigger guys before, but no one that big. No offense to anybody if they are that big. But personally, I would have too many concerns about dating somebody that is 400 pounds. Because I would want somebody to live and exist in this period of life for as long as possible. And by that, I truly mean we need to tap out of life at the same time at the prime age of 95. Potentially if we have all our faculties. But if you're telling me that somehow I got with the guy and he's 300, 400 pounds, we have some problems. Because how are you eating? Food is expensive, first of all. But I'm going into too much detail. Let me just answer the question. No, I would not. I would not let somebody that is that big be upon me. Truly, I would not. Because I have gained weight, but not enough to withstand said weight. 400 pounds is a lot. 300 pounds might not be that bad, but 400 pounds? I can barely lift myself up, okay? I need to work on that personally. I truly do. But would y'all? Would you, Alicia? Would you be okay with a 400-pound person being on top of you? Cause girl, no, I could not. Absolutely could not. Of course, girl. You know you to be rude sometimes, and do. We were watching you like Homer was watching Flanders from the bush. I'm sorry. Alright, we gonna be in the Rose One Down live tomorrow, y'all. Some big guy on top breathing so heavy when he's about to come. See, that's not my problem. My problem is, how am I enjoying myself and the weight is crushing me? That is my concern. I don't care about the noise. I care about being crushed. Pressed. Not in a good way. Their hair is great. It's very 70s or 80s vibe. Thank you. Again, it is a wig. It's a half wig. I could probably tell y'all what the name of it is, but again, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not no wig you can wear out in public unless you're not wearing it the way that I'm wearing it. Like literally, this, because it's a half wig, it has that not band, but it's like that bulkiness in the front, and I pulled it down and then cut some bangs into it. But when I tell you, would not be able to wear this the way that I'm wearing this in public at all, because the tracks are showing. The tracks are definitely not prominent enough. Well, it's not thick enough where you would be able to be okay, where somebody wouldn't be able to just look down or just look to the side and see. Tracks are out in the back. Jazz, you are hilarious and but yes. I would not say hilarious, but definitely I can be honest. But it looks so natural, but I think you're beautiful anyway. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I ain't doing no hammock. I'd be scared to fall. I'm too clumsy for anything that's not stable. I want 600-pound women. Now, is that a fetish, or do you actually like? Because this is my thing, okay? Or are you talking about the 1,000-pound sisters? Because my thing is, there's nothing wrong with having preferences, but at the same time, it's like, when does it become a fetish? You know what I mean? Like, does the person you date have to be that? You know? Both my bros used to be friends. 300 plus women, sister big bones. I've seen some gorgeous 300 plus pound women. My concern was just like, I mean, my concern with anybody, like, are you healthy? Because I mean, even the skinniest person can have health issues, you know what I mean? I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I talked to someone that was big, was trying to get them to lose weight, and they wouldn't. Yeah, like, what was I watching? I feel like it was a show of some sort I was watching where this guy, I think it was the Parkers. There was this episode where Kim was dating, I cannot remember what his name was. But it was that guy she met from one of those what was it, speed dating? And she had chose the wrong guy. Oh, his name was Alan, and they kept referring to him as Fat Alan or Big Alan. And everything was going well with them dating at first, but then she started talking about how she felt like he needed to lose weight. And he got defensive about it at first, but then he was like, okay, I'm about to put some effort into losing weight. However, he realized he didn't really want to do it. So they ended up breaking up because Kim was like, I don't want to see you, excuse me, basically, like, what was it? She didn't want to see him, keep being unhealthy or something like that. And what's crazy is I think, like, maybe towards the end of the season or the next season, he lost all that weight, but they ended up replacing him with somebody else, like a whole new actor, and said he went to fat camp or something. But I don't know, I feel like if you get with somebody when they are a certain weight, unless it's really causing them unhealthy issues, like when they go to the doctor and stuff like that, I feel like it would be kind of hard to tell them, like, yeah, I want you to lose weight. You know what I mean? Because it's like you got with them when they were already big, and to them, it's like you're trying to change me. I think that's what the lady who said fat people doesn't deserve love meant. She meant to focus on the self-care aspect, but the way she said it was disgusting. Yeah, like, people don't really be having tact when they be talking about stuff like that. Sometimes people can be insensitive and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I have been insensitive about different topics, but it's like, you gotta be careful on social media because sometimes people can misconstrue what you're talking about. The guy I'm talking to now, he was 400 and he ended up losing 200 pounds. That's a lot. What did he do? Shoot, let me know some tips. I mean, I don't need to lose 200 pounds, but it's always nice for people to share the tips. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the people that I know that lost substantial weight like that ended up having surgery. I know some people can do it without the surgery, but a lot of people that I know of that did lose that substantial amount of weight did have, like, gastric sleeve and stuff like that. So basically, the only way is to ride it. Yes, I've dated the big ones. Yeah, see, that's different. Like, if that's the way you, end up being intimate with them, then that's fine. But the whole being on top, listen, you ain't gonna crush my bones. You know what I'm saying? I will not be flattened, okay? But it all depends, if, because I've dated bigger guys before, but they all carried their weight well. Like, some guys that I knew that were like 300 something pounds, I couldn't tell because they were either really tall or they were more muscle than, like, fat. So that also depends too. Some fat men have no PP. It's crazy. Crazy. Beauty comes in different shapes and sizes. That's true. That is very true. Beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder. But sometimes I do not want to be beholden. You know what I'm saying? It's all based on your own preferences. I remember that episode. Yes, Alan. He became insecure too, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, he really did. That's the thing. The person has to want to lose weight for themselves. They have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's pretty much like look at Did y'all watch 1,000 Pound Sisters? Because if you looked at them, they got tired of the weight that they had on, and both of them lost the weight. So, yeah, some people can be cruel. For sure. Get on the Stairmaster for an hour a day. See, T-Berries, you keep saying that. Now, do you mean the little stepper? You know, the little one that you could bring home? Or do you mean the actual Stairmaster that's at the gym? Because even when I had a gym membership, somebody was always on it. Always. It was almost like it was a line and they only had one or two in there. But then had a whole bunch of treadmills. I don't know if that junk cost way more than the treadmills or what. But I'm just like, put a little bit of hot sauce on food to lose weight. I always put hot sauce on everything, so you ain't gotta tell me twice. Oh yeah, I remember that with the Parkers. Cajun spice, lose some weight with that. Jazz and water. Let's look that up, shall we? Cajun spice, weight loss. It says, does Cajun seasoning help with weight loss? I be shaking that and everything, and my weight is maintained. I don't be losing nothing. Except when I do number 2 in the bathroom. TMI, but... It says, beyond the thrill for spice enthusiasts, cayenne pepper contains capsaicin, a compound known for its metabolism-boosting properties. Consuming spicy foods like those in jerk or Cajun seasoning has been linked to increased calorie burning and enhanced fat oxidation. Let's bookmark this, shall we? But I already be consuming spicy stuff. I don't think that works for me. It's probably because I'm being sedent. Or what's it? I need to move more. That's my issue. I feel like if I just walked regularly for like an hour a day, I would probably be okay. Because a lot of people that I know that, not a lot of people, there are some people that I know where all they did was they drank more water and they just walked and they lost a whole bunch of weight that way. Weight loss tip, fasting. You lost me. You lost me. One thing about me, I'm not doing no fasting. And the main reason I say that is because my blood sugar gets low. I have to eat every 3 hours. And I feel like that's how I'm maintaining. Because when I've noticed that when I do not eat every 3 hours, that's when I start gaining weight. Because I think it was like 2 months ago, I started skipping breakfast and I wasn't snacking as much. And when I say snack, I mean like eating like a granola bar or some sort of fruit or like vegetable snack or something. I started gaining weight because I was not eating as much. Plus, I was tired. I am not a person that can fast. That's not for me. And then it had to be said again. Here I go laughing all over again. Shaped like shaped like a damn eraser is crazy. Trust me, the big guys know how to use that tongue. Girl, I mean, if it gets you going, you know what I mean? The gyms I go to always have a lot of Stairmaster machines. What is the name of your gym? Because I've only had one gym membership, and that was Planet Fitness. And they had literally, I think, 1 or 2 Stairmasters. Now, mind you, that was like 2019. I haven't stepped foot in the gym in the longest. I have the gym equipment. Well, I have a treadmill, but I don't use it. I just need to find motivation, to be honest. Forget that. I'm still laughing about the other thing, bruh. Let me stop. Number 2. I'm just saying. Have y'all ever weighed yourself after y'all use the bathroom, or is that just me? Because I be doing that junk all the time. I will weigh myself before I use the bathroom, and then after. Well, I don't do it as much, but back in the day, I would always do that to see how much my waist weighed. And people be staring at me like it's something wrong with me, and I'm like, you never was curious. I think everyone should try it. 300 minutes a week. What's that? Oh, math. What is that? 300 divided by 7. 7, 12, 28. That's like 45 minutes, I think. That's not bad. 45 minutes a day. Water fasting 3 days, not faint of heart to do. I'm not doing no fasting, man. I fasted not on purpose. Was not a great day. I was nauseated. I was weak. I was tired. Hungry. The treadmill works to a level 12 incline. Level 12? My shins. That sounds like a lot. EOS, you saying my lips chap? Not too much. They felt a little dry. Thank you, T-Berries. I don't know if that's what you was making reference to, but... Hey, Ariana, girl. How you doing? Fasting has been great for me. I don't feel tired or hungry at all. I drink a lot of water, tea, and unsweetened almond milk before I break my fast. It helps me to stay in a caloric deficit. See, I don't know nothing about the calorie deficit. I always hear people talk about it, but girl, I don't know how you do it, because like even people that fast for religious purposes, I really don't know how they do it without feeling nauseous. I really don't see how they do it, because personally, no. EOS Fitness. Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about EOS lip balm. Like, girl, your lips dry. I'm so unserious. I have never heard of EOS Fitness. But let's look it up. See, y'all see that treadmill that's unused? Anyways, EOS. Oh, I was watching Arthur the other night. Fitness. I don't think we have one of those. Yeah, they in Texas and Florida. No Midwest. California, Nevada, Arizona. Oh, it's one in Illinois. Obviously, I'm not about to travel miles to go to a gym. Our bodies live in computer jazz. Really think about it. I don't want to be compared to AI. That's what I need. I need to add some vitamins to my cart. That's what I need to add, because I always forget. Let me put some vitamins in my cart real quick. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Because, damn it. That's so crazy. Some of the stuff that people be searching is so wild to me. $100 for vitamins is crazy. Absolutely insane. I love being in the sauna and getting a massage. You know, I don't. Sauna is the hot one, yeah? Because I don't think I could see myself. I don't like being hot. I really don't. And I don't like sweating either. And I know it's supposed to be good for you, but I really don't like heat. Like, it makes me tired. That's one of the reasons why I don't really care for the summer that much, because when the sun is like beaming on me, instantly I just want to take a nap. I'm like, ugh. That kind of feels nice, depending if it's not super hot. I think I asked y'all this before, but would you rather be hot or cold? Like, which would you rather be? Like, what climate would you rather be in? A hot climate or a cold one? Because personally, I feel like you can do something if you're in a cold climate. Because, for example, I'm in Michigan, and when it's cold out here, I can put on freaking long johns, heat, layers. I can get some of those little heat packs, can put on gloves and stuff. But if you're hot, sure, you can stick your feet in some cold water. And if you got air, sure. But being in heat makes me nauseous. Then again, a lot of things makes me nauseous. That could be my iron deficiency, though. We're not going to talk about it. But anyways, thank you. Appreciate you. It is not literal sense, though. Not saying our computers one parts go down and the rest of them use it. Oh, yes. I understand what you mean, Ilblurmatic. Yes, I agree, because, man, the stories I could tell, but I'm not. Oh, I really be having to adjust my wig off camera because it just be pinching me. Yeah, I would love to go to a steam room in the future, hot climate. If you're hot, you can walk around in a swimsuit. Okay, so this is the thing, right? Picture this. You're walking around in a swimsuit. The hot sun is beaming on your ass. And you're getting sweat everywhere. You're just sweating profusely. What do you do? What do you do if you don't have a fan, if you don't have central air? What do you do? Because personally, that would piss me off. And even in Michigan, people be dying of like heat stroke and stuff. I ain't got time for that. One thing about me, I tell my friends every summer, I'm like, listen here. I know you want to do outside stuff. I was about to cuss. I know you want to do outside stuff. But I'm going to need you to pick somewhere that has some air. Or I'm going to need you to figure something out where it's not the peak of summer. For example, I tell one of my friends all the time at the beginning of summer. Actually, I tell her in May. I tell her, hey, I know you be wanting to go to the beach every freaking summer, but I'm telling you right now, do not pick a day in July. And what does she do? She pick a day in July. And then she asked me, she was like, I know you said you don't want to go, but you probably will want to go. You and your husband. And me and my husband looking at each other like, we done told her we not doing that. But I know she going because the vibes. But at the same time, I'm like, girl, why do you always pick the hottest day to go? And I sunburn. Like, and people be laughing, but like, so we went camping. Every now and again we go camping. And camping is a fun experience. Like, if you guys have never been camping, I highly recommend that you do it because it is a lot of fun. But we went one time and I got sunburned. It was my fault. I did not wear sunscreen the way I was supposed to. But when I tell you red, 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 and I'm thinking nothing's wrong. I'm just like, my face feels so freaking tight for some freaking reason. And my friends looked at me and were like, "You good?" And I'm looking at them like, "What are you talking about? Your face is red." I look in the mirror, red, red, and they're like, "I've never seen a black person get sunburned before." Don't talk to me. Don't piss me off because my face hurts. Well, it didn't really hurt. It just felt like my face was tight. Like I had a mask on that I had on for like hours. That's what it felt like. And then my skin started peeling the next day. And when I tell you, it wasn't painful or anything. It just wasn't comfortable. I do love a cold shower on a hot summer day. I need lukewarm because my skin a little sensitive. Like, I don't know, my skin be real sensitive for some reason. Enjoy both winter and summer, but different reasons. What's your reasons, Zilblermatic? I'm so ready for fall, winter, spring, summer is not my fave. I agree. May is the best warm month to go to the beach. Not too hot is perfect. I agree with that. I would have been completely fine if my friend was like, let's go to the beach in May. I would have been like, bet. Because the sun ain't at its freaking peak. But when you start talking about going to the beach in freaking July, mind you, between like July 23rd through like July 29th, that's like peak sun. That's peak summer sun. Why would you do that to me? I'm looking forward to the fall though. Fall is my favorite season. Mainly, well, actually, I just recently started liking my birthday, to be honest. And when I say recently, I mean the past almost 9 years. But that's not recent at all. But anyways, but fall, I absolutely love the fall time. The flavors of the different food, the smells, going to the apple orchard. Fall is the best to me. And I like wearing all my sweaters because maybe I should do a video of my sweater collection because my sweater game's so hard, bro. Like, nobody touching my sweater game. Nobody touching my sweater game at all. Most of them are thrifted, which is probably why nobody touching it. But yeah. Oh, I like camping. I haven't been since I was a kid, though. It's so much fun. I didn't go when I was a kid. I went as an adult. The 3 times I went, and it was always a great time. That's okay. I'll be looking good while sweating. I just can't be in the cold. I will need to wear multiple layers of clothes to get comfortable. Yeah, see, and I don't mind that because my whole closet is built for fall, winter. That was something I was supposed to work on this year, but I did not because I'm on a budget. But yeah, like, I like the concept of wearing the layers and installing the layers and stuff like that. It's something about wearing a nice, wholesome turtleneck. It's something about it. It just really gets me, you know? Because I feel more comfortable in like a sweater or a sweatshirt versus wearing a swimsuit. But that's just me. And I don't like the way sweat make me feel either. It just be icky and then it just be in the flaps and the folds and I'm not a fan. It just feels uncomfortable. Go outside early, get some sun, do that tomorrow. Yeah, like if you go early, it's not that bad. Does your hair hurt when you're on the... Do you mean like, does my hair hurt in the sun? No, I was watching something recently where this doctor was saying that a lot of people were coming into the doctor having skin cancer in their scalp. And I was like, scalp. And he was explaining that people need to start wearing hats or like sunscreen in their hair. Apparently they do have sunscreen like SPF for your hair allegedly, because he was like, the sun is not the same anymore with the way it beams down on us. So he was like, yeah, you got to start like wearing hats and protective gear of some sort to protect your scalp. And I was like, yeah. I was telling my husband that, and he I love when I tell him stuff because he ended up buying a hat the next day, and Amazon delivered it, and he was like, "Yeah, I know you were talking about that yesterday." And he pulled out this hat and put it on, and I was like, he was he gonna say some, because I know you be concerned about me doing the yard work, and I was like, "Yeah, thank you for getting a hat." Like, but I need to get me some hats myself. Like I have like a couple baseball hats, but I know my mom, she always talks about wearing the, what are they called? The straw hats. I want to get me some of those, but I want to get some of the ones that are more on the cuter side. I noticed the sun is no longer the same. Yeah, it really isn't. It's completely different. My eye doctor told me that showing early signs of sun damage in my eyes, she told me to wear sunglasses all the time when I go out. That's crazy. Like, I don't know, stuff is different now. And I don't know if it's global warming or, you know, the impact of other things, but I know it's definitely a combination of the fact that the freaking the factories and stuff and the burning the holes and the layers and stuff. That's why they trying to go to Mars. Not me being a conspiracy theorist, but that's why they trying to go to freaking Mars, because they like, you know what, we need a backup plan, because let's just mess up all the other resources and then the rich can go to Mars and we gonna mess up Mars too. Just ghetto and stank. I, I have thoughts. Actually, there was something I kind of wanted to talk about. I don't think nobody really watching me, like, as far as, the the people, if you know what I mean. But so I don't know if y'all watched my recent vlog, but I was talking about um artificial intel. I was talking about how I was going to stop using that as much, yeah? And one of the reasons I said that too was because I had did, the research or whatever, and I put the links to everything that I was talking about, the credible resources in that vlog, right? There was another reason why, but I didn't mention it in the vlog. But so, do you guys know about Flint, Michigan and their water? Like how it's taken forever for them to get the money to do the pipes and stuff. Well, recently, like in the past couple years, Elon visited there and they are now putting the piping in. And I didn't really think about it because I was like, dang, it's been, what was it, almost 20 years for them to do that? Longer. But when I found out, about the artificial intel and how it works and where they place those machines, I was like, oh, the reason why they fixed the water in Flint is because they're going to put more artificial intel machines there. That is what my assumption is, because that makes more sense, because they have been avoiding trying to fix those pipes for the longest. And that is an urban area with a lot of minorities. And they're doing it specifically there because, well, their water is already impacted. Sure, they may, change their piping, but they're doing it specifically for the artificial. And within them doing this, it's going to affect their water, which means their water will still be impacted and will have radiation in it. And I was just like, that's kind of crazy. And don't get me wrong, artificial intel is in a lot of things at this point. It's like a part of life at this point. But I was like, that's why I probably will not be trying to use Gemini or Chat GP of the T as much, because I didn't realize how much resources it takes that cannot be replenished. And when I say the water, we gonna see that impact in the next 10 years. Mind my words, we are gonna see the impact of that in the next 10 years. The water is about to be expensive. And that's gonna be unfortunate, because that's gonna affect our food. That's gonna affect a lot of things. So it's just something to think about, And actually, it's kind of depressing to think about, because, when we talk about global warming and stuff, we've been talking about that since we were kids. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, we see impacts, but it's not like, but I'm like, with this is different, bro. This is on a whole different scale, where it's like, the impacts are kind of strong already now, where it's like, dang. And this is why Orange Man is getting rid of reporting on certain stuff, so that we can't know certain information. Depressing. Depressing. Do you know shadow people exist? I'm sure. I sound like a conspiracy theorist. Yes, I've heard of Flint, Michigan. That's still going on. Excuse me, has it been 10 plus years? Yeah, they've always had issues with their water. I use it to get tips on recipes, fashion, home decor. That's it. I don't ask it personal questions. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know. People be using it for therapy and advice. Not my wig being messed up. Anyways, whatever. It's late. But yeah, people be using it for therapy and stuff, and I'm just like, don't get me wrong. I understand therapy is expensive, but I do think that it would be one thing, and I feel like they're going to develop it. I think they're going to come out with some sort of AI for therapy at some point in time. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if if they're going to do it in the way that ChatGPT is set up, because the way that people use use ChatGPT for therapy is not, I don't know, it's not set up for that. So I feel like they're gonna come out with an AI specifically for that. Reddit is for therapy. I mean, I guess it could be, because sometimes people do give good advice on there, But sometimes they don't. It just really depends on what you're asking advice for. Like, normally in the am I the asshole ones in the relationship or dating advice, people actually be giving decent advice sometimes. And then I think the people who write the post though are sometimes upset about the responses. Like, it's not the validation that they wanted to get, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna be on here for 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna hop off, y'all. But I really do appreciate you guys for being in here with me. I am trying to reach my watch hours. But I'm debating if I want a snack. I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't snack on anything because it's really late. It's like almost, well, it's 11:59 right now. I am I want some bacon. I haven't had bacon in a minute. You know what is so good? Beef bacon. Have y'all ever had beef bacon before? That junk is so freaking good, but it's so expensive. That's probably some of the best bacon I ever had in my life. It is so good. I appreciate you, girl. But yeah. Um I gotta work tomorrow. I did start my new job. I don't know if I'ma do a video about that or not. Where do you buy what? Oh, beef bacon? So I don't know if you have a Kroger, but Kroger has beef bacon. You could probably find it at one of those kosher grocery stores. So just Google kosher grocery store near me, as in KOSHER, near me. Hmm. But I normally see it at Kroger myself, and it's normally like $8, but it isn't that many slices in there. Um, and I've had it at different halal, I think that's what they're called, halal restaurants where they didn't serve pork at all. And those be the best burgers ever. Ever. But yeah. I did not record. I had every intent of recording videos today, but I don't know, bro. I just have not been in the mood. And I can't tell if it's because of me being like depressed, lazy, because I'm working. I'm not really working that much. Or what, but I just have not been in the mood to record the way I normally would record videos. I feel like I'm self-sabotaging, you know? I really do. Okay, I see it. I'm going to add it to my cart. Let me know how you like it, because I think it's decent. Well, actually, let me stop lying. I've never had the beef bacon from Kroger, but that's the only grocery store where I've seen it. However, I have had beef bacon at restaurants and it was good. Is vegan meat not meat? I would assume it's not. But if it's called vegan meat, I'm assuming it's like they're acting like it's meat. So I just assume they just title it that way so you know it could be alternative. Maybe some miso soup. Maybe I'll make some miso soup. Because that's just the miso soup with the tofu and the greens. That's not heavy. I could eat that for a snack, don't y'all think? Because I love me some miso soup. That junk is so good to me. Maybe I'll record in the morning. That'll probably be easier for me to do. I made tuna fish tonight. They plant that meat. You mean like the bean meat? I've been wanting to try that to see if it's actually any good. But I made tuna fish tonight, and that junk was so good. Tuna fish and crackers. And I am so proud of myself, y'all. I'm so freaking proud that I learned to hard boil an egg this year. Y'all gonna see that in my recap for the year, because it's a video clip that I did not share anywhere yet. But yeah, I'm so proud of myself because them hard-boiled eggs definitely make a difference. For freaking sure. That sounds good as... Oh, the tuna? Yeah. I love me some tuna fish, man. I will say, though, so we took my mom out to eat for her birthday, right? And I always be side-eyeing her sometimes at her food choices when we go out to eat, because I'm like, who gets... No judgment if you get it, but also... So, we went to the restaurant, and I'm thinking she's gonna get, like... I don't know if y'all know what a coney dog is, but it's basically like a chili dog with onions on it or whatever. And I'm thinking she's gonna get one of those and some fries of some sort or something like that, right? She gets a tuna sandwich. Maybe it's just me, but I think getting tuna outside the house is crazy. I don't know why I think that way, but to me, I'm just like, why don't you just make the tuna at home? Because tuna at home tastes better to me. The few times I've had tuna at a restaurant, I did not like it. But if I make it at home, I like it. And I put the stuff in there and the seasonings in there the way that I want it. And I'm looking at her like, they didn't even put enough on there. She's like, it's good. And I'm just like, it's giving old. She was side-eyeing me, but I'm just like, I don't know. I've never... That's like getting a grilled cheese. Right. Like, that's how I see it. I'm like, why would you get something simple like that when we going out to eat, you know? It's like, why don't you get something else? Like, something, you know, not fancy, but different. Like, out of the norm. How do you like your eggs? I don't like when the yolk is pale yellow and turning gray. I think I know what you mean. So when I do eggs, normally I like them scrambled. However, I've been making eggs, not necessarily sunny side up because that's not what it is. Basically, I'll just hard cook it all the way through and season it with, actually, what I do is I always put shredded cheese in mine. Normally, it's Monterey or Kobe Jack cheddar cheese. And then I put a little garlic powder in mine and pepper in mine. And some scallions. The green onions, I'll do that for my eggs normally all the time. And then if I'm feeling real festive, I'll cook some spinach and mushroom. And that junk be so good to me. Delicioso. That's like getting Taco Bell. You can make it better at home. I will stop you right there. Cause okay, so that's the thing. I like Taco Bell. But it just really depends because me, for example, I cook probably 7 days out the week. So every single day I normally cook. Depending on my husband, I'll do breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then sometimes maybe like once every other week I'll do a dessert or something. And to me, fast food is very much like a treat. It's very much like a nice treat because I don't have to cook. And I don't know. I feel like I appreciate fast food more because I don't get it often. So I feel differently about Taco Bell. And I've never consistently gotten fast food before, which is why I kind of like it. And I feel like I like Taco Bell specifically because so I'm black. I'm black, right? And black people tacos are not the same as the Hispanic people tacos. And then those both of them are not the same as Taco Bell tacos either. It's like particular flavors and textures and tastes because sometimes I want a Hispanic actual authentic taco and then sometimes I want the jibber jab junk Taco Bell taco because that seasoning kind of hits just a tad. So I kind of like getting Taco Bell every now and again because I just like it. I have bought one of those little Taco Bell kits, but for some reason the shells are always broken up every time I get it. I actually did a mukbang where I did the Taco Bell shells and stuff, and that just kind of pissed me off. Cause why are all the shells broken? But anyways, I do like that you can get the Taco Bell sauce at home now, like at the store. Do you eat cow stomach? I do not. I do not. I eat cow, but I am very particular about what part of it that I consume, for sure. But yeah, y'all, I greatly appreciate you guys for. Oh, I like getting corn tortillas and frying them up to make taco shells. Let me write that down because I normally just get the flour tortillas. I don't know. That's just always the go-to. I never really experiment with the corn tortillas too much. Maybe I should. I'm going to write that down. Thank you, Monique. I am going to write that down because I normally don't experiment too much when it comes to tortillas. But yes. But thank you guys. The Mexicans use corn tortillas. Yeah, see, and this is the thing too. So when you go to the actual authentic Mexican restaurants, their tortillas taste so much differently from the store-bought ones. Like it don't taste as good to me. That's why I'm completely okay when I go to the authentic restaurants to get it. But if I try to make it at home, it don't taste the same to me for some reason. Or maybe I'm just buying the wrong brand. I don't know. But it don't taste the same to me. But I appreciate you guys for chatting with me for these 3 hours and 34 minutes. You know, I always be so scared that don't nobody, well, I have a select few people that come in here, but it's always surprising when I get other people in here that don't naturally be in here. But I will say, I go live every other week on Thursdays. So not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that one, I will be live again at 8:30. I always share in my community posts when I am going live. So I share multiple times actually. So if you guys ever want to jump into a live, feel free to do so. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to me, some of the newer people that I've seen, but feel free to subscribe if you like and join in on the future lives. I appreciate you guys for talking with me. Thank you. I appreciate you, Guru. But yeah, I'm about to go watch some of my stories and try to not eat food. But thank you guys so much. Thank you. Bye, Monique. By the Rose Rundown. By Tessere Ledso. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys again soon. Stay blessed, stay positive. Bye, y'all.